Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Toonami Squad podcast sessions. I'm your host, Sam2 at Samseries299. With me today, we have Phantom,
Hola.
we have Logan,
Yo.
and two other squad members who haven't, seen the light of day in podcast format in a while. We have Silver,
Hi!
and we have Eric.
Hello, everybody. I'm alive again.
They're alive.
We
I
live.
just didn't. I certainly didn't dig them out of their graves.
Yeah, I had to go find the sensu beans.
Yeah,
Ah.
I needed to be rejuvenated for my hiatus, just to come back for this. just to
So this
I was
podcast,
never dead actually. I was just like in a cavern just digging up stuff for fun.
At least you weren't locked in the basement.
yeah. Well, I know we had Eric in the basement.
yeah, just editing things out and all. You know how it is. Just locked in the basement, editing it all,
Edit it out, Eric.
all of it.
All of it.
So anyway, this episode is a little special because, well, for the past month we haven't really had any Toonami news. Well, we have a bit of stuff, but an event happened last week. A new movie that from a series that's kind of been dormant for a bit has came out.
One Piece,
Dragon
right?
Ball's- Yeah, One Piece is dormant. We haven't seen like a new episode in like 10 years, guys. It's bad. But Dragon Ball Superhero came out, and I thought it would be great if we all had a big discussion about it. But before we get to that, though, we did have some nuggets of news come out. But before we get to that, we have to start off with the traditional topic. What are we watching? So I guess I'll go first. Lately, Steven's been having me watch Ranking of Kings, because that's like one of the best shows this year. And of course, it has a best boy in it, and everyone loves a best boy or a best girl. Boji's best boy. And I'm enjoying it. I'm like 12 episodes in. I'm mainly like watching a lot of these shows just so that these people can watch shows I want, which Steven is currently on Legend of Korra. I have to watch this so he can get to season 3.
There you go.
Other than that, I had to suffer Andre. And whenever Andre's mentioned, that's never a good thing.
It's true.
Very true.
Very true. It was this really shitty, like another one of those horny trash anime shows on High Dive. It's called Why the Hell Are You Here, Teacher? And it's just like every episode, the protagonist is just unlucky and gets in a bunch of like sexual circumstance situations with his teacher. And last episode involves boinging, so that's fun. He also made this was all to get in the watch Evangelion, and I also had to watch a show by the name of Prison School, and that was. I'm still paying. I'm still going to therapy for that.
Yep.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, I thought you were like at one point just gonna say, you know what, Andre, fuck you. Fuck this.
Well, I mean,
You quit.
after that, I'm definitely like, I'm not recommending anything else to him. It's like, and I'm not even done suffering his torture. Like, after I watch Ranking of Kings, I gotta watch like 2 other shows that he subjected me to because Evangelion, like, to get him to watch the entire thing took a bit of an effort. Other than that, what did I see? Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this in the last podcast. Did I? I don't think so. Logan, correct me, because I know you were there. Did I mention that I saw Black Lagoon last podcast?
I think you did, yeah.
I did?
Yeah, you might not have been finished with Roberta's Blood Trail, but I know you mentioned at least finishing the main series, if nothing else.
Okay, so I guess that's it from me then, because I don't really have anything else to talk about. What about you, Phantom?
Oh. Sorry, I was a little distracted with work. What did I watch? So I'm continuing my crusade of watching Bleach and avoiding filler.
Oh my! Are you watching the filler?
I only watched like one filler arc.
Okay.
Because I wasn't sure if the bounce were necessary. But then it was mentioned in the actual episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Silver, is that arc necessary?
That is an interesting question. It is not necessary to the story of Bleach, but the anime decided to keep like 3 of the characters from that filler arc around for a few episodes. So they like.
Well, the characters are sort of
like you can skip the bound arc, but there's gonna be like 10-12 episodes in a row where you're just gonna keep going, who are these guys? And those are the 3 filler characters that they decided to keep around for a bit. So unless you have time and you don't want to get annoying constantly with the question, who the hell are these guys? You'll watch the bound arc. And I would say that's like one of the decent filler arcs in Bleach. After that, though,
Did they get Naruto quality?
Well, from my experience, because when I did this, pretty much I skipped all the filler and it was fine for me.
I was like, because I'm watching Bleach too, but I haven't. Like, I have to get back on it because it's been a minute since I have. But like, I was planning on skipping the filler once I got to it.
I'm thinking of maybe picking it back up just to watch the filler because I skipped it all. I mainly watched the main arcs of it, which to my understanding was like 2, maybe 3 arcs.
The main issue is,
at the end of the day.
The one credit you gotta give Naruto Shippuden is that whenever the show went into filler, most of the time it wasn't like super abrupt.
Yeah.
Because in Bleach, there's a few times where they're in the middle of the arc, and literally in the episode preview they go, "Hey, sorry, we're gonna go into filler next week." For quite a you just go, what?
You mean like Naruto on Toonami right now is doing?
No. Abruptly.
When I was watching Bleach and my friend showed me that, like when we finished the arc before the final arc, pretty much, and we were just about to go into filler, my friend's like, "Okay, so we finished this arc. Here's the filler," and we literally scrolled down like 4 or 5 pages of episodes. We're like, "Here we go."
Yeah.
I was like, "Wait, all that's filler?" He's like, "All that's filler."
Yeah. Anyway,
It's like not as many episodes as Naruto, but definitely a lot more filler.
Yeah, and it blew my mind. I didn't realize I knew the reputation, but I didn't realize it was that much filler.
Okay, sorry to cut you off, Phantom. You were saying?
No, it's okay. So anyways, I'm at season 8, episode 143. That's where I stopped at the moment. But other than that, catching up on Primal season 2 because I'm very behind.
I need to watch that.
The Red Mist episode, I love the animation and the action.
Boy, I can't wait to hear what you think once you get to the next episode.
Oh, the Primal Theory?
It was so important that, like, for the episode previews, Gendy didn't want anything being shown.
Oh.
So literally, like when the promo for next time on Primal came up, they literally said Gendy said he didn't want anything of this episode being shown. So we have to do what he says. So just watch a new Primal next week.
So I'll have to watch that during
Season
my
2?
break then.
Is season 2 playing right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like 7 episodes in. I think it's got like 3 left. They already confirmed it's 10 episodes.
I thought it was repeating season 1. Fuck. Okay.
Yeah. Basically, they're premiering it on Adult Swim. Then it's on HBO Max Friday, and then playing on Saturday.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Toonami gets the encore runs of it.
Toonami is replaying it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's the first thing.
And just want to mention, and I love this. Number one, Primal feels better on Toonami, and number two,
Yeah.
the rerun on Toonami is doing better than the actual premiere. So
It's funny because so many people forget that it's on Thursday nights. Like even some of our own members, like Steven, I remember a couple nights, he's like, damn it, I forgot Primal's on. I'll just wait for Toonami. That happened to me sometimes too. Sorry, Phantom.
I watch it on Toonami. It feels like a Toonami show, personally. I mean, just season 1.
And then lastly, I was just to say, lastly, I 2 episodes in on She-Hulk.
I still gotta see that.
For hire.
I'm 2 episodes in on it too. I think it's horrible.
I still have to see it.
I mean, I enjoy it. I'm waiting for cameos. And
I don't want to pay for Disney Plus, so I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Do you feel good paying for HBO Max right now, though?
I don't pay for HBO Max. Actually, I don't have HBO Max.
I mean, if you want Silver, I can just give you my login.
Well, anyway.
Do it off show.
Anyway.
That's everything.
Anyway, what about you, Logan? Have you been watching anything?
Surprisingly, outside of my usual answer of just stuff for work, I actually am watching a show for once.
Oh.
I've been watching the new Kamen Rider anime, Fudo PI, which just had its 5th episode aired this week. And as a longtime Rider fan, where Kamen Rider Double was my entryway into Kamen Rider, it's been fantastic, and I'm already hoping that they're going to renew it for a 2nd season because there's a ton of material for them to adapt still, and I don't think they're going to get anywhere near through it with the 12 episodes they've got for the 1st season. So, but yeah, it's really good, and you don't have to know anything about Rider to get into it. So it's good stuff.
I imagine being a fan though elevates the experience.
It helps. I mean, there's certain stuff that, shows up, like something comes up in this episode that it's cool if you've never seen it, but seeing it back in action after literally 12, 13 years, it's that much better seeing all this stuff and seeing how they adapt it to going from live action to anime. And they've done a good job so far. It's a bit heavy on the fan service, not to the extent of the stuff that Dre's been getting you to watch, but it does skew a little fan servicey, which is a little unusual for the Kamen Rider material. But it's been good. It's from the same studio that a bunch of the same staff that animated the Symphogear season. So anybody who's seen that knows kind of what to expect animation wise.
All right. Silver, what about you? Have you been watching anything?
Not much, but a little bit. I've been watching season 2 of Devil is a Part-Timer. That's one of those few shows that yes, it's another goddamn isekai, but it was before isekai became 80% of all anime coming out. So
I'm just imagining.
I can still go, okay, you know what? I liked you in 2014, so I'll watch season 2. It's been fun. I missed the budget, but it's really good. Yeah, season 2 so far feels like it. Season 2 has really hammered home for me how these days most of the seasonal anime coming out either don't have enough time in the oven or don't have enough budget to make it work. It feels a little bit rougher. Thankfully, though, Futo PI, and I just want to say, for a sec, for a while, I kept thinking, really, Futo P? That's the name? It sounds so stupid. But it is a damn good show. I need to keep going. I've only seen the first episode, but I want to see. The one episode I saw is great. It already makes me want to keep watching. Besides that, anime related, that's it.
Like, it doesn't have to be anime too. Like, Fansa mentioned She-Hulk and stuff.
Oh, in that case, I'm rewatching The Flash.
Nice.
The one that's not a dick.
The one that isn't going around the country committing crimes.
Yeah.
One distinction to make there.
The one that recently apologized, not that one.
Yeah, the one that's not the Reverse Flash in real life.
So I was saying, you were saying earlier, it's another goddamn isekai, and I'm just imagining Andre bolting in here. Did someone say another isekai? Anyway, what about you, Eric? Have you been watching anything?
I actually have. My collection has expanded astronomically in the last year or so. So I've been watching a couple of stuff. The thing that I'm watching recently, though, however, so I've basically been bouncing around a bunch of different shows. But this one's a blast from the past. Shout out Greg Weisman, but it's out of focus.
Gargoyles. I knew immediately.
Very out of focus, but yeah. I just recently got Gargoyles, the whole TV show, all the volumes. I'll also check out our interview with Greg Weisman. We were talking about Young Justice way back in the day. But I've been watching that because I saw bits and pieces of it, and I was just like, you know what? I've been meaning to watch the show for the longest time, from beginning to end, and I'm pretty much at the final. I'm in season, the pretty much the last volume on the DVDs, and it's been over expectations. It was a lot better than I thought. I was very surprised. It reminds me of like Batman the Animated Series a little bit. It's a good ride so far. I like it. Genuinely surprised. And what are the other ones? Hold on. What other thing?
Babes.
Lupin. That was it.
Logan bolting in here. Did someone say Lupin?
It's true.
Depends on which Lupin, though.
So I got seasons 1, 3, 4, and 5 on Blu-ray, and I got the DVD volumes for season 2 because there's no Blu-rays for that. But I've been watching. Before I was in the Gargoyles, I was watching season 2 of Lupin the Third, the second season, pretty much, and I got through halfway of that. I still need to finish that.
Available on DVD from Discotech Media.
Yeah. We'll see. Anyway, shout out to Logan because he did a bang up job on those DVDs, though. And
This episode is brought to you by Discotheque Media.
yeah,
I will say, when I did watch IGPX, I was using the Discotheque DVDs.
yep.
Ditto.
Also, Logan, did you do what is it, Blue Kohan too? It came out recently. Kohan?
Which one?
Blue Kohan, I think it's called. It was made by. I forgot who it was.
It doesn't ring a bell, so probably not.
Hold on. 'Cause I got that one too. Because the animator was Future Boy Conan.
Oh, that one. Okay, so I worked on the 4Ks for the UK release, not the American DVD, or not the American Blu-rays.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Oh, let me. Yeah. Hayao Miyazaki. Yep. Yeah, that one. So that's what I've been kind of bouncing around lately. In all honesty.
All right. Well, anyway, so we did have at least the one piece of Toonami news, at least for our Toonami news, come out, and that is we have a release date for a Housing Complex Z, the horror anime original series for Toonami by Production IG. No surprise here, October 1st.
Well, you say no surprise, but
I mean, like, it's a horror show and it's 4 episodes, so my mind was instantly, okay, this is the Halloween show, like, they're gonna put this in October. Like, 4 episodes, October has 5 Saturdays, so the first 4 Saturdays are 4 episodes, and the 5th one's a marathon. That's what I'm calling.
yeah. But there's always been like a few times in Adult Swim and Cartoon Network where you can tell that an episode was supposed to come out in October, but they're premiering it in November instead. That's happened before, so I'm just thankful that for once, something that's, you could say, Halloween. It's not going to be about Halloween, but horror. It's actually going to be in October, and not something like December.
Yeah, so, like, I mean, I'm looking forward, but I'm also, like, I don't do horror a lot. I'm very, like, queasy. Like, I'm not a horror movie fan. I don't watch horror shows. Horror anime, obviously, out of my league. And then, like, Maki from Production IG has been posting, like, update images on her Twitter, like, of her working on the show, and she just described some things, and I'm just like, I'm not looking forward to this. Like, she posted an image. She posted an image of, like, what looks to be a dead grandma with, like, eyes with blood coming out of her eyes, but you don't see. But you don't. Yeah, I don't know if you heard about that, by the way, Eric. But that got delayed again.
I heard it got delayed. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but like, a bloody grandma, and then, like, she just said that after 1 episode we will not be enjoying I forgot what the dessert was, frozen ice or pudding or something. Like, she was like, after this 1 episode you won't look at this sweet dessert the same way ever again.
Yeah, shaved ice.
Shaved ice, that's what it was.
I'm
Like,
looking forward to it.
and I'm just like, you know, on one hand I'm looking forward to this, but on the other hand I'm gonna have to, like, blur. Well, I mean, I find it easier to digest like horror anime or, like, any type of gore in anime than I do with, like, real life stuff. Like, I can't watch horror movies for the life of me. And I mean, like, I've seen shows like Attack on Titan, so I have seen gore in anime. And yeah, like, I don't know, how do you guys feel about the show?
Well, you know, the one thing, first off, I'm looking forward to the show. I'm not sure how I'm gonna handle the show, though. Like, I don't watch horror, but, like, the one thing I keep thinking whenever I'm watching a show and, like, photos of scenes that are super bloody is, I just keep thinking, man, I don't think there's been anime like this gory or bloody in a long time.
Probably since like Parasite, I'd say like Attack on Titan or Parasite would for me be like the bloodiest, goriest animes that I've seen personally.
Yeah, but it's looking like even more bloody and more gory
Yeah.
than that. Like
Yeah.
closer to Hellsing Ultimate kinds of gory.
Well, Maki said at the Anime Expo panel, she pointed out that, there's, when it comes to horror aspect like anime, there's really kind of a limited amount of it. And that's kind of what they're aiming at trying to do, is expand into a genre that nobody really tends to go for, which is why they're doing Uzumaki, Housing Complex, and she didn't outright say it, but she suggested that there's definitely more horror-aimed anime coming down the pipe from this partnership. So, be interesting.
Well, considering Jason is a big horror buff too, and he's all into that, so I wouldn't be surprised.
But it makes sense because
Toonami, though, considering how gory it potentially could be, are they censoring it at all, or is it uncensored?
Wait, what?
Do you know if Jason's confirmed or not, if the show will be heavily censored for being on Toonami, or because my understanding, Toonami's going to help in develop this, right? My understanding.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be censored. If it is, it'll probably be like a type of censor that not even be registered until someone shows.
I never read the manga, but based on the imagery and everything, it has very surreal imagery. So I'd be curious if they're going all out with the animation stuff.
Wait, are you talking Housing Complex?
That's the original.
Yeah, Housing Complex is original.
Okay.
There is
Uzumaki, that's a manga.
Because where I'm at, to be honest, this is kind of the mind frame that I'm in going into it. To me, Hellsing wasn't really that bloody. There's a couple stuff, but I didn't think it was that gory, really. Except for towards the end, believe it or not.
That's the thing. I kind of agree with you. Because the kind of imagery for comparison that came up in my head was like 90s crazy war.
Yeah, I would say Akame Got Kill was pretty gory. Parasite, I think, might have been the goriest. I think I would have to say that. I think Parasite might have the crown as the goriest anime to ever air on Toonami up until this point, in my personal opinion.
Well, and the thing to remember about that, though, is, cable networks can get away with a lot of stuff. The S&P stuff that, they demand gets censored and whatnot, really, it's less of an FCC thing, and it's more of just what their internal standards are. And, that's why, South Park used to, they've talked about that before, where, they'd get away with, they'd put some, heinously terrible, joke or scene into an episode, and the censors would go no, God, you can't put that in there. Get rid of that. And then everything else looked so tame in comparison that they'd slide it through. So that's the thing is, it's really just a matter of trying to get S&P on your side and convince them that it's okay. And the thing is, even when you compare it to South Park runs at 10 p.m. Toonami's, midnight and afterwards. So, it's a lot easier to get them to let that stuff slide past. And, obviously there's limits. We know they won't let nudity and stuff like that go through. But, I think it's really just a matter of getting them on your side.
And in this case, because it's a co-production between Adult Swim and Production IG, I don't think there's...
Yeah, I wouldn't think there'd be censorship.
Is going to be censorship. It's probably going to be after they finish it.
If anything.
Yeah, because they're both. I'm assuming there's both. But Adult Swim's paying for it too.
Yeah.
So, I don't
All
think
right.
it's censorship issues.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm looking forward to it.
Like I said,
Not sure how I'll take it.
I was just curious.
All right. Well, anyone got anything else to say on Housing Complex?
S&P will have to review these statements.
Ah. All right. Well, moving on to our next topic. Well, guys, it's been a good run. Toonami died. More specifically, I mean, Toonami in Latin America is dead. Rip. I was debating if I should even put this in the list of topics, but Silver wanted to put it in there.
It's Toonami related.
It is Toonami related. Like, I didn't even hear much about Toonami. Like when it was first announced, a lot of us were surprised. Like, oh wow, like it's actually labeled Toonami. Like, it has Tom and Sarah, and they're actually speaking Spanish too. Like, they got Spanish actors to do Tom and Sarah, and it's literally got like the Toonami Adult Swim branding, but replaced Adult Swim with Cartoon Network. And like I remember catching the Latin America feed just because I was curious to see how it was. Like it was like 5 days a week for like an hour at like midnight, and I remember it was like Dragon Ball Super and Mob Psycho, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Haven't checked it out since. But after the news of the cancellation, like, turns out Toonami Latin America wasn't that great. Like, they didn't update any brandings or whatever. Like, they didn't really have any Toonami bumpers. Like, it was just the same footage from the beginning. And then the list of shows were 6. And a good chunk of the time they were rerunning. On one hand, they had shows that we couldn't get, because Logan mentioned this last time, but Latin American Crunchyroll definitely much friendlier than the US bastards here.
Yeah.
They had shows like... go ahead, Silver.
There's a few reasons for that. Mostly, if you look at like the Toonami logo in Latin America, it had a little byline that said "powered by Crunchyroll." So it was essentially a contract agreement between Crunchyroll and Cartoon Network. Basically, it was basically advertisement.
Which also means that it very well could predate, like, before the Crunchyroll sale, you know, as a corporation and in a whole, they might have signed a contract deal that guaranteed they were going to have that block for a certain amount of time, and now that's just expired.
Exactly. By the time the whole sale came about and Warner Media and Crunchyroll got separated, well, the contract was still in effect. And so that created a bit of an issue where, well, they're not like part of the company anymore. So, but we can't cut off the contract. Meanwhile, Crunchyroll is on the other side going, well, we still have the contract. Might as well throw some shows on there and promote what we got. And it's actually interesting how the block barely existed, but it did have some issues. For example, it's amazing how little the block lasted, yet it got at least 2 controversies.
There were controversies?
Here's the thing. Cartoon Network in Latin America isn't used to having programming with blood.
Yeah.
And so the episode where Mob is on the floor in a puddle of blood, that got a lot of attention in Argentina. There was an uproar, and I'm guessing that because of that, Crunchyroll decided to not have shows that display too much blood. Hence why the rest of the shows aren't really that bloody. Dragon Ball Super. This is especially a dumb one. Do you guys remember the episode? It's one of those episodes before Tournament of Power where Goku is gathering different fighters and he goes to Master Roshi. The scene where Master Roshi is perving over
one of the other tournament fighters. I know the episode.
No, not even in the tournament. When he goes to Tien's temple.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that one caused problems. And then there's the episode where Roshi is practicing, I guess, perv tolerance with Poir. That one caused enough of an uproar again in Argentina to take the entire show off the wall. And so like the Toonami block in Latin America had some issues that our block doesn't. And so like they had certain limitations where they kind of so they can't have shows that have too much blood. They can't have shows that are too pervy because still a kids network.
I mean,
so they ended up getting in. They ended up putting Radiant. Captain Tsubasa, a soccer show. They've replaced Dragon Ball Super, and the last two were Keep Your Hands Off
Eizouken,
thank you, and Laid Back Camp, which are they are the least shonen shows possible to put on.
I know a lot of US Toonami fans got pissed that Eizouken went to Toonami Latin America because that was like a really highly requested show for Toonami US. Even Jason has said, yeah, that's like one of the most requested shows on the block here. But like, I remember he said something. I think it just was yet again the matter of Sony being Sony. They don't want to share anything, so don't expect anything they have to be there.
So Sony has been very
anti-consumer.
Yeah, I want to basically just hoarding everything they have.
And yeah, which is why it sucks when every time a new anime gets announced, we have to like hope and pray that like it doesn't get the Crunchyroll stamp, or else no Toonami run. Like it has to be Viz Media or Sentai or like any other company. But that's kind of hard to do because Crunchyroll is constantly snatching everything up, especially shonen. If say Naruto and Bleach were brand new shows that were coming out this year, guarantee Crunchyroll would have those right now and not Viz Media. So like we can at least thank God that Bleach, the new season, has a chance on Toonami because Viz Media.
But anyway, Toonami Latin America. Short-lived, was worth a shot. That being said, it is not a devastating loss because in Latin America there's a channel called Warner Channel. Guess what it has? Warner shows. And they started an anime block I believe in April. And it's a lot more. It's a lot better, let's say, equipped.
Managed.
Yeah.
It's had Bleach. Original Naruto, Death Note, Yashahime,
Oh, there you go.
and
Say no more.
a few others. So, yes, it is a loss, but it's not a devastating loss. Because basically, Warner Brothers has anime offering somewhere else.
I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask if Latin America has like other channels that they give anime, or was the Toonami Block the only thing? But you just answered that, so.
Well, there are, okay. There are places where you can get anime. It's just that if it does happen, it's usually the mainstream thing.
I mean, like obviously Crunchyroll and stuff like that is accessible.
Yeah, but for example, Dragon Ball Super Broly premiered in, I think the channel was called Azteca 7.
Damn, they got Broly before us, like on TV, like speaking wise.
It's a Mexican TV channel, and what the reason why it premiered is because Dragon Ball is it's as mainstream. Yeah.
Like I've seen the footage of like Goku versus Jiren like on the billboards, and like lines in movie theaters packed for a superhero like over there.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, unlike Dragon Ball Z in the US, Dragon Ball Z in a lot of Toei shows were broadcasting on TV through TV antennas. You didn't need cable, so that's why it got so mainstream. You literally just needed like a tiny antenna, and that's it. And so you can find anime over there, but if you do, it's usually like the super mainstream stuff. Mm-hmm. But in the case of like paid, yes, Toonami in Latin America is gone, but it's not like the worst case scenario. There is an alternative. It doesn't have Sarah or Tom, but there is an alternative. So.
I mean, sucks that JJK never made it to Toonami LA.
Second of all, with Silver Sing with the whole blood thing, it wouldn't have a chance because it gets very bloody.
I mean, at
like
least
one of the characters gets his heart ripped out. Like that would not pass in freaking.
Oh no, that show. Then that means that Jujutsu Kaisen would never air on any Toonami on the planet. Damn.
I wonder how they'll get around a Spy Family if Toonami LA was still around.
I don't know. They could do what they do in China and just change the color of the blood to white. Doesn't make it look any better.
It just looks worse.
Or blue popo.
No. I believe they can still have blood. It just can't be like super excessive.
I mean, they could just turn it green.
Like if it's a trail of blood, if it's a trail of blood on the face, like a really tiny trail, I think they can. Yeah, you can air that. But like a puddle of blood, whoa! It's a kid's show. It is.
All right. Well, like I guess that is all the news about Toonami Latin America. Now, the next topic is about our Toonami. So, for the past 2 weeks, we've been suffering the results of this goddamn merger between Discovery and Warner Brothers, and like every good like animated show just dying and being purged, and just like so many things getting canceled that it's really sad. And I don't want to go off and like talk about that because there's plenty of other people talking about it and all that. But just with the way this merger has been looking, we're just like, well, how is Toonami faring in all this? And like Jason has stated before, oh, like they want Toonami in the future. Today an article came out that literally confirms that Warner Brothers is keeping Toonami safe. It isn't getting any changes from the Purge, at least yet. But yeah, so OKKO, Infinity Train, and Mao Mao all died, but Toonami's still safe, people.
Well, I mean, in a technicality, Uncle Grandpa is still there.
No,
Yeah,
he
like
died also. It just took longer to kill.
Well, I mean, not the show, but I mean, Uncle Grandpa has been on like Steven Universe and I think Gumball.
One of my favorite memes someone made was that one scene from Blade Runner 2049. But like that one scene where I don't know her name, but like the giant hologram is like looking at him like, "Where are all your friends?" And it's like Uncle Grandpa there, just with the biggest like I'm done face ever.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
There's one meme that they made, and it's the X-Men Days of Future Past cover, but it's Uncle Grandpa, called Uncle Grandpa Bad Morning.
No, the worst was when the actual creator of Uncle Grandpa tweeted an image that he drew Uncle Grandpa with a gun to his face.
Yep, I think that's how everybody. I think that's what the animation community feels at this point.
Anyway, let's not do that. Toonami's safe from the Warner Purge.
Thank God.
Thank
You
God.
know what? I know that you don't want to touch that mine, but I think it is a little bit related. I think it's pretty clear right now that the guy in charge right now at Warner Brothers Discovery, he mainly cares about cable. And only cable. And so, if you notice, all the cuts, all the changes, all the restructuring has been toward anything related to streaming.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not streaming, it's with channels that are either spending like crazy but don't get enough revenue to justify it.
Mm-hmm.
And so in Adult Swim's case, well, let me put it like this. If Adult Swim, despite airing mostly during the night, does a lot better than Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
So let's start off with that.
Yeah.
And so,
Considering that, just think about it like this. Considering that Toonami's not on the chopping block, and a few of Cartoon Network's upcoming shows are on the chopping block, that tells you something. That means Toonami's doing something good, at the very least, on a ratings per se.
And not to mention whatever Adult Swim has cooking.
yeah, but I think it's also a factor of, well, if you look at Adult Swim, a lot of the shows they have on the air for the first few hours are old Fox shows that they already paid for and they have the license to for a couple of years.
Yep.
And so Adult Swim isn't right now spending on a bunch of shows that are going to take those quote unquote early slots. primetime slots.
I mean, let's not forget too, the original Adult Swim shows, with a couple of exceptions, don't really have that high of a budget.
Yeah.
Like the most budget I see in an Adult Swim show is Rick and Morty, Venture Brothers, and like Tuca and Birdie.
And in the case of Toonami, while licenses for anime shows have gone up the last few years, we've gotten. Jason has stated a lot of times that it's a lot cheaper to get those licenses than to make their own shows.
Yeah.
So, in a certain way, Toonami is actually a lot cheaper to run than, well, a lot of TV nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, like,
even then, most of it is more co-productions. So even when they're spending money on new anime, it's not just them paying it; it's two parties paying it at the same time. So in terms of like money, Toonami is run pretty efficiently.
Yeah, I mean,
and most of the shows that they have canceled are shows that weren't made for Cartoon Network, but instead they were being made for HBO Max, and Cartoon Network would get to show them on their channel. So like a lot of the upcoming shows that they canceled, they didn't cancel Cartoon Network shows that were going to HBO Max. They canceled the HBO Max shows that were going to Cartoon Network. So most of the cuts are centered solely on HBO Max. Which sucks because, frankly, I prefer HBO Max to most of the other streaming service.
Because at least HBO Max actually gives a shit about its originals. Oh boy, can't wait to watch Netflix Resident Evil. Oh, already canceled.
But was there really value there?
Resident Evil, no. At least.
Just like Cowboy Bebop, live action. No value.
And One Piece live action. I'm gonna say that right now.
Actually,
it's gonna be bad.
That wrapped filming yesterday, I think, or something like that. I saw a thing on Facebook saying.
Okay, well, you know what? To me, I hate to be that one guy, but I will give credit to Bebop on two things, and only these two things.
I'm listening.
One,
Is the
they kept the soundtrack from the original. Two, like the sets.
Yep.
Like the sets for the ship.
100%. So
most of the sets were perfect.
Yeah. I have to give it the costume design and set design and the music. Completely agree, 100%.
Just perfect.
Also,
everything else was shit, but those two things, my god.
Also, have to give credit to the guy playing Jet too. Did a phenomenal job as the live-action Jet.
Jet was casted perfectly.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he was the only one casted perfectly.
Spike was alright.
Spike was alright. I will give him that too.
They just got Harold from Harold and Kumar.
But he did do a decent job. He tried. It's just you can't beat Steve Bloom. You just can't beat Steve.
And Faye, well, they tried.
She tried, but
hey, at least they got they got a corgi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but
that is three things they got right. Okay, there we go. Thousand out with 1,000 of things that went wrong, but they got three.
Yeah.
Like, at the very least, okay, Toonami's safe from the whole, like, Discovery shambles. But we still have yet to see, like, what's gonna become. Just because they're still, like, in this, like, holding phase of just there. Like, the only new thing we've gotten recently was Yashahime. Like, Primal, Housing Complex is gonna replace Primal when that ends. Although, like, I've noticed that, Primal ends, and then there's still another Saturday, and then Housing Complex comes the Saturday after. So I'm assuming one of two things: either we get a Primal marathon, or they take Shippuden for another slot. Like, unless they have like a special DC night or something, but like those are the only two things that I see happening. But like, yeah, there's a Black Adam movie coming out, but that weekend would still be too early, so I don't think we can get anything that early.
Hell, we're not even getting Shazam this year.
When's that happening?
October. I think it was October 7th. Or
you know what? Being devil's advocate here, just throwing it out there. So, I've been reading that One Piece Red is coming to the States sometime in fall. Would they do a tie-in with One Piece during that, potentially?
You know, I had a
desperate. They might do it.
Here's the thing, though. I had a similar prediction with Dragon Ball Superhero and the possibility of maybe them airing Super Broly as like promotion. Like they air the movie and then, oh hey guys, we got a sneak peek of Broly. I thought I had like a wild card prediction for that, but it didn't end up coming true. They didn't even get a sneak peek.
Considering that Dragon Ball Z Super Broly was like one of the most top grossing movies in anime history, I highly doubt they would have been able to snatch that. Pretty much, like if anything, I think what One Piece. If Jason DeMarco happens to watch this, I think it would be a really cool idea if they just so happen to jump ahead with One Piece. Like this was actually one of those few times where I'd actually be okay with a time skip situation, and because the One Piece anime right now is doing, what's it called? The One Piece Red tie-in episode right now.
Yeah, I've seen those.
And I think it'd be kind of interesting even if they do it subbed, I think it'd be interesting if they play those episodes as like a special thing to promote the movie potentially.
I don't see that happening. Like Jason said, that subtitled content doesn't do great. If anything, they'll probably play like an older One Piece film as promotion for the new movie. Like, ironically enough, this past weekend, the last 4 episodes of One Piece that Toonami aired was a mini filler arc that was just big promotion for the movie at the time, One Piece Film Z. And in my opinion, I don't know if y'all have seen the movie. It's on Netflix. Check it out. One Piece Film Z is my favorite of the modern Oda-written One Piece movies. The story is solid.
Yeah.
Like in terms of story, Film Z the best. Stampede though, the recent one before Red, goes bonkers with the animation and the fan service.
Yeah.
But in terms of overall story, I still prefer Z. And hey, Toonami aired those mini filler episodes. Because like the thing is, when it comes to these One Piece movie tie-in episodes, they all have the same structure. Every one of them. It'll be like the gang's just goofing off. Oh, a henchman of the villain of the movie is doing a bad thing. Luffy and the gang get pulled into it. And then at the end of the day, they stop the guy. And then at the end of the arc, the villain of the movie will be like, oh, you failed. I guess I have to do this myself, essentially. And then that's when it's like, to be continued in the movie. Check it out. And then go back in the canon. Like, that's literally what happened.
Yeah.
That's literally what happened with the last episodes that Toonami aired. They beat the guy, and then at the end of the arc, like the villain of film Z is like, we're moving out, guys.
Yeah, because pretty much the Toonami broadcast is basically the dub. You know, as you're watching on Crunchyroll or Funimation, whatever. You know, whatever episode, it's literally following each one.
So like, I would so be down for Toonami to air the film Z, since that would actually make sense. since they aired those mini filler arcs. I wouldn't be opposed to some of the other movies, but Film Z really good. So if they do Film Z, I won't mind. But I don't know.
Here's the thing. Between Dragon Ball and One Piece, I can see Toonami airing a One Piece film. Because here's the thing. If Toei wanted One Piece on the block because Toei is desperate to make One Piece big in the US. They want it big. If it promotes the film, they'll gladly try anything. Actually, if it promotes One Piece anything, they'll gladly try anything.
You mad lad. You mad lad. You are not suggesting that Toonami will air One Piece Red on the block.
No.
No, they wouldn't do that. I could see them.
I said
I could see them.
See them promote it. I got you.
I can
see them give a sneak peek.
Yeah, I can totally see it sneak peek too.
Like I can see him like here's an old One Piece movie. Here's like a minute of the new movie. Promote it. We'll give you a special discount on the movie to air it once. You just have to air this sneak peek too, and make sure to promote the movie. That's it. In the case of Dragon Ball, here's the thing: Dragon Ball doesn't need promotion.
Yeah.
It doesn't need a sneak peek. It doesn't need. They don't need to put Dragon Ball Super Broly on TV to promote the new one because
give it terrible. They could do terrible CGI animation, and yet it still get banged. It still becomes the #1 grossing anime movie in the world.
The animation wasn't terrible.
Teaser to the final topic.
Let's keep that for the film discussion. Let's keep that one for superhero discussion.
Yeah, I can't believe we're.
It slipped out. I'm sorry. It slipped out just a tad.
What?
The teaser's a tad. I'm sorry.
But I'm just saying, like, One Piece needs any advertising it can get. Dragon Ball doesn't. Toonami didn't air Dragon Ball Super Broly, and the new film, Dragon Ball Superhero, already made more in North America than Dragon Ball Super Broly. It didn't need that much promotion. One Piece, though?
And honestly, arguably, they promoted Dragon Ball Super Broly better than Dragon Ball Superhero. In all honesty,
I heard that the marketing
was
for the
trash.
new movie was trash.
Horrible.
Yeah, they had one job.
Yeah,
they didn't do it, and yet it did more than Broly apparently.
I will say, if they did air Super Broly, I refuse until they redub Broly.
That's been like one of the biggest myths right now, is if there exists a cut of the movie that replaces Mr. Dick Lasagna with Ichigo from Bleach.
Johnny Yambach.
Yeah,
Yes.
they replaced him with one of the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you. I was about to say that.
I'm surprised that didn't summon Logan.
I'm here. Don't worry.
Anyway,
But, yeah.
I just try not to comment on Mr. Hansy voice actor because I'm so fed up and sick of it.
I mean, I can get into it too, but I really don't want to get into the political side of things.
okay, well,
Sure. Whatever.
so just to like tie off, because we're already talking movie, like just to tie off the whole like Toonami Wonder thing, it's good that Toonami's safe from the purge, but just for the love of God, can we see some like progress with it? Because they've been on pause for a minute, and I'm just like, the only thing we know at the moment is Housing Complex coming. Like, Lupin maybe has like another month because I think they got like 10 episodes left.
But to be fair,
We need a Toonami direct.
okay, but to be fair, Toonami, I'm pretty sure there's 2 issues, maybe 3. One, Crunchyroll is like 80% of the anime market.
The anime
right?
industry now.
Rip right stuff.
Number 2, there's budget issues in the sense that right now the people at the top are looking at everything related to money. And number 3, and this might be the key factor here, it's also really possible that Toonami used a good, if not most of the budget at the beginning of the year. Because we got to remember that at the beginning of the year, they brought in like 4 shows in a very short amount of time.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
So like One Piece, Made in Abyss, Lupin the Third. I don't remember if there's a 4th. Or if the 4th is...
I mean, like there was also Attack on Titan, but that's contractual obligations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
No,
that's still money.
I'm very.
Primal Season 2 be considered new, quote unquote? Technically?
Yeah, yes, but Toonami didn't.
They don't have to pay. They don't have to pay to air that. They own that.
Yeah, basically, when by the time 2021 ended, Toonami was almost out of shows on the block. They needed stuff like now, and so they ended up probably spending most of the budget within the first 2 months. So this can be an after effect of that or of the other 2 factors.
Well, you know, at the very least, we do have a new season of My Hero in October, and I assume that's going to be on Toonami because I'm pretty certain when they made that agreement with My Hero in the beginning that they were going to get like the subsequent seasons too.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I'm very curious.
If we get My Hero.
Hopefully.
Exactly. Hopefully, we still got that.
That's
And
not
hopefully
Disney
we
Plus.
still have Attack on Titan also.
No, I think Attack on Titan is safe. Like, I think it's because of the contract they did back when they did the first season.
I could have sworn they had like their contract with My Hero, like not identical to Attack on Titan, but similar because like they when they aired it, season 3 was out. They finished it before season 4 came out, and then season 4 came out 2 weeks after Toonami announces the airing. And then with season 5, what?
You got to keep in mind that every contract is different, so you never know if we actually do have My Hero on lock.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know, but you can take an educated guess just based on the fact that they've continued to get it and get it so quickly. Like they've managed to get it with basically the exact same terms every single time after the new stuff starts airing. So it's a pretty safe bet that they were smart and applied a right of first refusal contract to get the subsequent seasons. They did the same thing back in the day with the Evangelion films. Funimation had right of first refusal of all the films, and you know the only reason that Amazon got what they did was it's likely that either the overall contract period expired or Studio Kara just bought them out, which either one's possible. And the thing is, that doesn't rule out that Crunchyroll couldn't turn around and just go, we're buying out the contract for you to air these shows, but there's not really any incentive for them to do it.
Because
it just costs
money. Which, if you notice, they keep doing that. So
true. I mean,
Well,
It's not impossible. It's just improbable. Would be my take on it.
That's yeah. I'm just saying. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, the only issue that I can see is that Toonami maybe not to show doom and gloom, but the way things are, it would seem like right now, considering the competition for obtaining shows that have been already made, seems to have gotten more aggressive with the whole Sony role thing, and so Toonami may have to rely on more in-house type of shows, and the question is, can Toonami keep up with that? Or snatch up shows before the Sonys and the other companies snatch them up first is really how it is right now. And the way the market is right now, it seems like it's very hit or miss at the moment.
Well, actually, there's another element, because you keep saying My Hero. You got to remember, there's this little show coming back called Bleach, and that's not.
Well, yeah, I was about to say that.
So
we can count on Bleach because that's Viz Media, and we currently have Yashahime, and we still have Shippuden, so that tells you they're still good with Toonami.
I don't know if we can count on it, but it's definitely like a lot more safer to say that Bleach has a lot better chance.
Has a very strong chance of showing up on the block. Yeah. The question is, how long would it be, though, too? It's only one arc.
There was someone... someone was saying, what if they expense, like, a giant chunk of budget, like, they expense the rest of their budget this year to get, like, Bleach, like, right of first refusal on Bleach. So, like, when the dub comes, like, it goes straight to Adult Swim, like, kind of what they did with JoJo and One Punch Man. Which, like, I could see happen.
Sounds like a question to throw Jason's way.
Yeah, I don't think he'd answer that, though.
You doing a Q&A?
Really, Phantom? Really? Alright. Anyway, anyone got anything else to say on the whole Warner thing? Because I just realized we're like an hour 15 in, and we still haven't even talked the main topic of today.
Now, let's just move on before I make any more JJK jokes.
We talked about One Piece already. What are you talking about, Sam?
So anyway, let's get on to the main topic of the night. I didn't mean for these other topics to go on as long as they did.
I like One Piece.
I like One Piece too. Anyway,
One Piece is real.
We should talk about One Piece.
Or Jujutsu Kaisen.
We don't talk about non-Toonami shows here.
Oh yeah. God. You'll disgust me. Anyway.
Let's just move on to the movie.
Dragon Ball Super Superhero, it's a movie. It came out last week. Spoiler alert, by the way. We're going to talk spoilers because it's been a week.
Yep.
No, it's a week and a half.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember when the news of this first dropped, at first we were like, is this real news or is this more clickbaity news from all the Dragon Ball content creators that want to keep saying that it's coming back?
Oh yeah.
Like that was literally my first thought. Is like, is this real news or is this more clickbaity news from the cringy Dragon Ball YouTubers that want to keep saying that it's coming back every week?
I personally can't blame them though, because I'll be honest, I'm one of those that are like, when is Super coming back? I'm definitely with them on that. In all fairness.
Hey, if you need, all honesty though, and Silver can back me up on this. Read the manga. It actually goes past Broly, and it tells like 2 original arcs.
I hear you on that, but to be fair though too, the anime doesn't necessarily follow the manga, so that's why I avoid it. That's why I actually have read One Piece and stuck with it, but haven't with Dragon Ball Super because I still don't know if that's the true story or not.
With the release of the movie, it's kind of confirmed they're two separate canons.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm like, there's not really a point to read the manga for me personally, even though there's seems to be some cooler stuff, pun not intended, in the manga. But still, that's why you never know with the show because at least it was fresh, personally.
Look, Eric, here's the thing, and this is gonna confuse the hell out of you, and it will be completely justified because it does not make any sense. Both the anime and the manga are canon. Because here's the thing, and I hate that Toei had to put a graph on their website to explain it.
Which is canon and which is not?
No. Because basically, Toriyama has used the whole time travel thing to basically say, no, the thing is there's multiple timelines in Dragon Ball after Trunks did the time machine thing, and every time he time travels, he makes a different timeline.
Yeah.
And so Dragon Ball Super, the manga, is one timeline, and then the anime is another timeline. And
so the universe is completely canon too?
Yes.
We're canon, guys. We're all canon.
You are correct.
No. You want to know what's crazy?
What?
In the same explanation, they also consider like GT canon because that's also in a third timeline.
And you just pissed off about 90% of the Dragon Ball Z community.
I didn't do that. Toei did.
So anyway, there's a movie.
Defender of GT. I'm happy about that then.
So anyway, there's a movie. I want to talk about the build-up to this first before we talk the actual movie. But yeah,
sure.
When the news came out, it felt very unreal. Like Super was dormant for God knows how long, with the exception of the manga.
I was
the manga was
about 2.5 years, I'd say, since Broly.
It ended the series ended in 2018.
Yeah.
And then later that year, in December, in Japan at least, Broly came out.
Yep.
We didn't get it here till early 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been dormant for a while. The only new content is the manga, which I still recommend reading it, honestly. And if it's a separate timeline, I still want to see some of these bits animated because a lot of these things look cool, and I would really like to see these animated. But yeah, so a movie announcement took everyone by surprise. They're like, "Oh God, finally!" But then, not that long after, we learned something very crucial about it. It was going to be animated using CG.
Yeah.
And I'm getting strong vibes of Blade Runner, Black Lotus, Berserk 2016 on Netflix.
Well, granted, it wasn't,
Ghost in the Shell Netflix.
It wasn't. No, you're right. Yeah, I'm shutting up.
There was a lot of concern. And then I remember they put out a teaser trailer of Goku just jumping around. And it looked choppy.
Oh no, it's worse. Because there's actually two versions of the teaser trailer. They apparently uploaded the wrong version of the teaser trailer. They uploaded one where the animation was super choppy, and then later they re-uploaded the teaser both properly processed, so it was a lot less choppy.
Okay
then.
You forgot to press enter when they exported it.
Yeah. It felt like that. Like they forgot to press the enter.
But yeah. there was that. My personal theory with it is in regards to Super being in dormant for like 4 years. I kind of feel like this was them being like, we gotta rush out something for Dragon Ball. The fans have been complaining for like 4 years. We need to get something out. We don't care. We'll make it into a movie so we can just release it. Make it CG so we can just bang this out in like a year and a half, maybe. That's what it feels like to me. There's like we're working on Super, we swear, but we don't. For whatever reason, they didn't want to reveal that they wanted that.
Well, apparently,
let's make a movie and bang it out quick.
Apparently, this movie started in pre-production not long after Broly came.
I say lies.
We kicked out Sam too.
Poor Sam.
How the hell did that happen?
I don't know, but that's funny.
I accidentally hit like the back key on my mouse, and that literally made me go back. I was trying to say was like apparently this movie started pre-production not long after Broly came out, but they just didn't know what to do for like a good while. And then like also like one of the reasons it's on CG was like two reasons. One, CG's cheaper.
But yeah.
And two, a good chunk of their resources are going into One Piece and Dragon Quest Dai.
Yep.
And if you look at the recent One Piece episodes, you can see.
Yeah. The Dragon Ball and One Piece has been, during Super, they were bouncing back and forth between the animators and everything. Yeah.
I don't know if I can agree with that.
Well, the later episodes, the latest episodes of One Piece. I understand.
No, the whole reasoning that.
That they're lying.
The whole reasoning that they made it CG because they needed their best animators for One Piece.
Yeah.
Well, I think also like they just wanted to experiment. Like someone brought the idea of CG.
No.
There's another reason that I think is a lot more possible, which is, and this is a bizarre complaint.
Okay.
And it really shows that Toriyama isn't very clear on how animation works. He said that his main complaint with both Dragon Ball Super the show and Dragon Ball Super Broly was that the animators weren't sticking to the character designs all the time.
Really?
Yes, he didn't like that characters sometimes didn't look how he drew them. Basically, you know how there's a few times where you see a scene and you can tell that there's a slight style difference?
Oh, you mean the obvious CGI inserts?
No. Like,
or the hand-drawn stuff. That's not even in the movie.
No, in
the show.
In the show and in the movie.
You can see why I'm confused by this. You can see why I'm confused by the description. Because the CGI is so obvious. But that's not the obvious part. That's so drastically different from the original character design. You get where I'm going with this, right? Wait.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say, but
that's not the issue.
To him specifically,
that wasn't the issue.
Toriyama didn't like that sometimes because of how an artist draws. The face of a character might look slightly different. He wanted to be on model constantly all the time, and that's just not possible in hand-drawn animation at all.
And CGI was the alternative to stick with that?
Well, if you think about it, where they were mostly on model perfectly, it was a bit weird. I won't deny it.
Well, you know, I was watching the Team 4-Star review of it, and one of the guys there brought up a good point. They said that you notice that the characters with the most complicated hairstyles aren't on screen for too long.
Yeah.
Like aka Goku, Vegeta, and like Gohan's pretty simple until the end. But, yeah.
Let's put it like this: if someone has Saiyan hair, that looks really weird. That looks really weird.
I mean, like play any Dragon Ball video game, and where they're mostly in 3D, and like Goku and Vegeta look so disproportionate. Hell, look at them in Fortnite, which they got added to recently. They look so bad.
Hang on, guys. We're talking about Dragon Ball. The show's over like 30 years old.
Yeah.
Are we really talking about cost-cutting budgetary issues with Dragon Ball? Are we talking about that right now?
Well, to be fair, One Piece dominates Japan, so it probably is on One Piece more.
But we're talking about cost-cutting measures with Dragon Ball.
Okay, I get it.
It just be like that.
I'm just saying that was his main complaint all the time, and that might have been like that might have given them like a chance to then we have a perfect solution, Mr. Toriyama.
Cheap ass CGI. Can't you tell? I have my complaints about the CGI. I will say I was able to accept it by the end of the movie. But please go back to hand drawn. Please go back to hand drawn. No, don't ever
stick with us.
We'll go into it more when we actually talk the plot. I will say, not like a giant chunk of the time anime is in CG. It's not really great. There is one exception I'm thinking of, and Logan, I'm pretty sure you might have seen it too. That Lupin the Third CG film that came out a while back.
Yeah, Lupin the Third, the first. I liked that movie.
That was really good.
To watch it.
If you haven't checked it, check it. It looks really good. It looks like Pixar level type stuff. So it can be done good. But yeah.
I think the advantage you have with something like Lupin, though, is you expect those characters to be kind of, for lack of a better term, rubbery. You know, like almost that kind of Looney Tunes.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, Lupin obviously isn't that far, to that extent, but there's kind of an aspect of that with Lupin that I think you can get away with, compared to something that's trying to be a little more rigid, like a Dragon Ball movie.
Yeah, I agree.
And to be fair, Lupin has experimented with different styles before.
Yeah.
The Fujiko Mine series, that doesn't look like the Lupin we're watching on Toonami.
Yeah.
So you can expect those changes. With Dragon Ball, I kind of don't think, I can't picture Dragon Ball with Pixar.
Yeah,
quality.
I don't even think that would be quite an expensive, taxing feat to do because Logan brought up a good point though too in regards to Lupin, comparing Lupin to Dragon Ball. At least with Lupin, if we were talking about cost cutting measures and the animation look, Lupin is consistent with how the character designs are, with their costume design, their face designs, and everything. in comparison to Dragon Ball, where you got their hair changing color, changing length, and how spiky they get, and all that kind of stuff, plus the destruction aspect to it as well, where the set
Plus constant movements.
yeah.
Different perspective, multiple attacks from multiple characters, different
very
level
grounded,
attacks.
very grounded and consistent. For Dragon Ball, it's you look at one frame and then 10 frames later, the slate is completely different. With backdrop and everything, it'd be a taxing challenge for an ultra realistic Pixar quality CGI animation style of Dragon Ball. Why did you stick the hand drawn? Anyway.
Here's the thing though. I think Dragon Ball Z in CG could work if it's heavily stylized. That part they got right. But also you gotta keep those frames in. You can't it needs more frames. Like, if it feels too stiff, it looks weird.
Like, how far should they take it? Because, like in my opinion, like Dragon Ball Super Broly, for an example, the few CGI moments that happen in there, in my opinion, I would say that quality was like Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse, or like something like that, you know. And it just gets to a point where it's just, even with the ultra realistic, it's just so jarring. I think it should just. I agree with you, but I think it's either they should go all in or not. Let's just stick to what they're doing. You know, it's either.
Well, Dragon Ball Fighters is right there in the corner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, speaking of,
that seems like hand drawn.
I mean, speaking of, they did make one of those characters canon, which is Android 21.
Android 21, yeah.
Okay, yeah, like I was gonna bring that up in the plot section, but I wanted to talk about the build-up to the movie.
Yeah, are we still ranting about the CGI?
Yeah, I was actually gonna move on, but y'all just kept going.
How about we just talk about the plot? Because if we talk about like the ramp up to the hype, we're gonna be here even longer.
Okay, well, one thing I will say before we get into the plot was when details of the plot was surfacing, and it was very interesting that we learned that it's actually going to be focused on Piccolo and Gohan, and we're actually going to get a Gohan-centric story. And I know a lot of fans of Gohan, like, everyone says that Gohan was peak during Cell, and that he was falling off during Boo. And like in the series, he was kind of getting back there. Like he was actually showing improvement when it came to the Tournament of Power, and then he just like crawled back in the hermit mode when that was over. But yeah, so
to be fair, to my understanding, the manga does him slightly better justice in the Tournament of Power. The anime decided not to animate that part for whatever reason, but hey.
Well, the thing is with the manga, and before they went into original, we're talking about and we're doing the arcs in the anime. The anime arcs in the manga were still different. Like one example in Goku Black arc, before he went Rose form, he went Super Saiyan. Like Goku Black actually turned into a Super Saiyan, like a gold hair. And then later he found the means to go higher, which became Rose.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that.
You also got to understand that the Dragon Ball Super anime, the way most of it was made was Toriyama going, okay, here's point A, here's point C. Figure out point B.
Fill in the blank part.
Yeah. Here's how it starts. Here's how this fight starts. Here's how this fight ends. Have fun bridging the gap.
Yeah.
And so that's how a lot of Dragon Ball Super ended up being.
Well, except for the future Trunks arc again, where he basically wrote himself into a corner. And he's like, I gotta get out of this. I gotta get out of this. Shit.
That's the thing.
No one likes that ending.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's possible that was another case of Toriyama going, okay, here's point A, here's point B.
Point C.
Right.
Point C.
Here's point A, here's point C. Good luck. And Toy went, shoot, time travel. Okay, we'll animate. Okay, we'll do like a cool fight scene with Trunks, and
we'll make him half invincible, and that'll be his weakness. Oh, but then he basically corrupts the entire universe. Beerus, help me.
Yeah, so let's move on. Okay, so we learned that we learned that the plot is centered on Gohan and Piccolo. Trailers were surfacing, and this looks to be like a Gohan Piccolo film. Every time there was a shot of Goku and Vegeta in my head, I'm already like, I know what the plot is. It's going to be centered on Gohan and Piccolo, and Vegeta and Goku are going to be on the side doing their own goofy thing. And then the movie comes out, and that was right. But now, I guess we should talk about that plot, because it's already past 12 and I gotta work tomorrow. Anyway, so, first off, they said that they didn't have a fight for Earth since Broly, which confirmed, the manga not mattering, which disappointed me, because I really, really wanted to see the two arcs that only the manga had. And
another timeline!
But yeah, so there's a time skip, and I'm actually glad that they managed to age up Goten and Trunks, because they're kids when Gohan was in high school. Gohan's married with a child. They're still the same size, and then finally they actually grow up. But yeah, and also gotta say, Pan is adorable.
Yes.
And
And is likable? What?
What? That's one other thing that I was saying in when the trailers were coming out, because we saw an older Pan that looked like she was training and stuff, and I was just like, are we finally gonna get a better Pan than her in GT?
I kind of expected that, to be honest, going in, personally.
But what I do love is that the Pan that we saw in the movie, I got little Goku vibes, and I love the idea.
Yeah.
That also,
I also like that she had a little arc for herself. Spoilers. Learning to fly and everything. Though to be fair, I remember I did hear that some people criticized it, where it's Videl learned it in 2 days, everyone else learned it in a day. And all, and she was able to figure out by the end of the movie. I'm like, yeah, but the character arc, Pan having a character arc and a decent character arc at least, I'll take it. I'll take it personally. I that was one of the things I did kind of like, the training with Piccolo. I like Pan's interaction with Piccolo and the whole thing, and how he's basically the dad.
One thing that I'm just confused on, I'm really surprised they didn't use her actor from GT, because she still does Pan in the video games. Whenever the video games use Pan from GT, she does the acting, so she's still around. So I was just surprised that they didn't use her.
I'm assuming they'll bring her in when Pan gets into the age that she's at in GT and Super. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
If Super even comes back. I'm kidding. Come on.
So also, you gotta say, we complain about the CG in this movie, but the first 2 minutes of that glorious 2D recap,
beautiful.
That going from Dragon Ball with the Red Ribbon Saga all the way to Cell.
Those few minutes make me say, "Oh, The CG was just for the promo. Oh, never mind.
I was like, can I get a remaster? Can I get an animation remaster of Dragon Ball? Like, as gorgeous as the original show is, can we get a remaster? As like, Funimation, so
please.
Funimation and Toei.
No. Only Toei.
Only Toei. True.
Well, I mean, can we talk about the biggest problem with the start of the movie is, for the first time ever, it starts with the Crunchyroll logo and not a Funimation logo.
Yeah.
I forgot I forbidden.
Oh God. Like, yeah, like,
Point, Logan.
God, like, when I saw the Crunchyroll logo come up, I'm like, I hate this. I hate this so much. Dragon Ball has been a Funimation thing for so long, and here comes Sony fucking
It changed.
merging.
I don't like it. It's so different now.
That
I
Crunchyroll
know.
label causes so much pain now. It's unreal.
It's yeah, I know. It's like watching Star Wars without the Lucasfilm logo at the beginning.
Yeah.
Too.
No, it's like watching Star Wars with the Disney logo on it.
Well, no, they took out like the Lucasfilm thing. It just goes right into the crawl. That's it.
Yeah, but
That's cursed.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
anyway,
Cursed imagery there.
I will say I missed the Crunchyroll logo because I had to go back to the concession and get my dinner.
Oh, so you saw the movie properly? No Crunchyroll logo.
Yeah.
Great.
But it was an
Just
IMAX.
the Funimation logo in your brain, and there you go. Just
so
I'll just
yeah,
pretend
you know,
Aaron Yeager.
speaking of the whole Crunchyroll logo thing. So earlier this year, I saw the third My Hero Academia movie, World Heroes Mission, in the theater. When it was in the theaters, the merger hasn't happened yet. So it started with the Funimation logo, and the credits said dubbed by Funimation Entertainment. And the Blu-rays just recently dropped. I got my copy, and it has Crunchyroll on it. The movie starts with the Crunchyroll logo, and the credits say by Crunchyroll. And I'm just like, you liars.
that is something I did not edit out personally.
No, we know you didn't. We know you didn't.
What,
You know content. That's Andre.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
No, but what kills me too is that also these new Blu-ray releases got rid of something very important: the digital copies. Whenever like these movies come out by Funimation, you got a Blu-ray, a DVD, and a digital code to redeem on Funimation's site, and you could watch your digital copy on the Funimation app. And, you know, I had copies of One Piece Stampede, Dragon Ball Broly, and the first two My Hero films, but now with this release, no digital copies. But
Does
go back.
iTunes not exist? for
Sony's
Crunchyroll?
Sony hoarding again. But to be fair, I don't remember this in the plot at all for Dragon Ball Super here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get back into it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Totally granted. Side rant. Totally understandable. I get you.
So yeah, we get that beautiful 2 minutes of 2D animation. Commander Red has a son, and then they want to bring back the Red Ribbon Army. Speaking of, Magenta is voiced by Mario. People,
Chris Pratt himself.
Yo, good Mario. Charles Martinet.
Charles
Yes,
Martinet.
I know.
Honestly,
I can say that
I
name.
wish he would do. I wish he would do more anime because, you know, you listen to him in this movie and it just goes to show you the guy has actually an incredible range that everybody just assumes it's a me Mario, you know, that's all the guy can do, and it's like, no, he actually is a very talented voice actor.
Yeah.
He just, you know, people need to actually like look at this guy and hire him for shit.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah.
Personally, I actually liked the villains. I was going in honestly, I had very low expectations for the villains. I thought I wasn't really like I didn't really like their character design initially, but like the voice and everything, it won me over. They're both guys.
You know, I said this in the last podcast, but it's so surreal that like a lot of these voice actors who are like in their 20s and 30s who grew up seeing Dragon Ball, now like working on Dragon Ball,
Yeah.
like, and they always have such excitement when they announce that they're voicing a character in the show, because the first thing they always say is like, I grew up on Dragon Ball and now I'm in Dragon Ball and all that. Like in Zeno, who voices Gamma 2, it, like, had so much energy. Like when he came, like he was excited, and you could see that in the movie when he was Gamma 2.
Yeah, I was even surprised with the androids. I like them. They're typical Dragon Ball type of characters, but I agree with you. Gamma 2 was just he kind of chewed up the scenery. He kind of stole the show, really.
He did, which made it hurt all the more when he had to sacrifice himself.
Oh, we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Sorry.
Meanwhile, Gamma 1 was just...
He was basically Jirden 2.0.
Yeah, he was just kind of there.
Yeah.
But to be fair, he actually gets to live, so he might have he might have more of a shot later. Like if they ever do anything.
I mean, who knows? Bulma was able to rebuild Android 16, to my understanding. I'm sure she could do the same for Gamma 2.
She didn't rebuild him, more like she fixed him because he was damaged.
Fair.
Which also
Dragon Balls, unless Bulma's too busy wishing plastic surgery.
Oh yeah.
You know what's funny with that? I remember when the trailer first dropped and they had like that half a second of her with the big buns, and everyone was just joking. The internet was just memeing like, oh LMAO, like look at this CG fail, and they made her look too big.
We're watching Dragon Ball superhero for the plot.
Yeah, so like everyone was just like, oh lol, CG fail, it's probably gonna get fixed in the movie. No, it turns out that she actually wished for her ass to be big.
Yeah. So just to get back to the plot real quick. So
the plot.
Excuse me, that's the backstory, not the plot.
Or story of another kind. But so yes, just because we're missing some context here. So the Red Ribbon Army came back. They hired Dr. Giro's like super more genius cousin, grandson. My bad.
Which I do want to point out that they did introduce Android 21 into the canon as she was Jiro's wife.
I was getting to that. They literally find that like Goku, Vegeta, and all the people who fought Cell, they find this information that they're bad guys off the internet. And I love just a couple good details where it's like where they showed Vegeta and he was wearing the pink Bad Man shirt and like a very evil looking look and all that. Nice detail there, Akira Toriyama. So and that's the part when they made Android 21 canon, and I believe Android 16 was based off of Dr. Giro's son, I believe.
Now that was information that's been a thing for years, but the Android 21 thing was new.
Yeah. No, I kind of knew that, but the movie basically confirmed all that, and that's just for the plot line and everything. And so eventually Piccolo discovers that the Red Ribbon Army has returned, and they're basically hunting down the Z Warriors for the events of the Cell games and everything. And so Piccolo goes to Kami's Lookout to talk to Dende to unlock his hidden potential. And Dende's not able to do this, but he just magically upgrades Shenron in order to do it, just like how he did where he can basically be like, Shenron, you can do 3 wishes now.
Which, I gotta say, I feel like it was one of those scenes where it wasn't needed.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It was one of the things where it's like, you could just do that. You could just, instead of just explaining that, oh, I need to upgrade Shenron. Oh yeah, he could just do that. It was kind of weird, like he couldn't do that, but I can upgrade him, and now he does it now.
Upgrade him. Let me just take him out, pour some water on. Okay, done.
Yeah.
Well, one other thing that a lot of people aren't vibing with is that whenever it comes to these power-ups in Dragon Balls and these new forms, those forms and those power-ups feel earned. Some of them feel earned, like they actually trained for them. And then here's Piccolo wishing that, oh, he gets his potential unlocked, and boom, now he all of a sudden has a new form, and it's just like, was that earned though? Like that's what a lot of people were complaining about.
Actually, I don't know if it's canon or not, but I actually have a theory about Piccolo's new form, which I will get into when we get to it. Personally,
But one of my favorite parts of the movie though was they want to kidnap Han, and it's just like you would think that, oh, they just take her, she's scared, and go on as to go, but she just punches the guy.
yeah.
Just like stranger danger.
Which doesn't make sense because I'm not sure how she saw him because it was clearly John Cena.
Which makes it even more possible.
No, she sensed him. That's why.
Yeah. Pan sends Piccolo. That's how she. So again, hang on. So let me just get to that plot point real quick. So Piccolo goes and wishes Shenron to unlock his hidden potential, and then during those wishes, that's when it's revealed that Bulma is using Shenron to basically wish for plastic surgery to increase her, her buns, her face, the whole thing. That's revealed. Funny, And then
I have one complaint about that scene though, because I feel that gives Toei and that gives Toei and Akira Toriyama and Shueisha, all the companies that make toys, the perfect excuse to over-sexualize mobile figures.
I am waiting for the figures of Bulma. I'm waiting for the figure of that one specific shot of her looking for the Whis trans the communicator.
I personally I don't mind it. Of course I'm gonna laugh at it because I do think it's funny, but I feel like those kind of jokes though in Dragon Ball being written by Akira Toriyama.
No, the joke makes sense.
And this is a problem with like Goku and Dragon Ball Super as a whole. It's dangerously close to something that Team 4-Star would write. Personally, it's funny. I will acknowledge that it's funny, but I felt like Team 4-Star and Dragon Ball Z at the very least was able to separate itself so well. But Akira Toriyama, hey, respect that he's kind of adapting there a little bit, but I feel like Team 4-Star has kind of influenced Akira Toriyama's comedic writing.
I highly doubt it, because the man does not go on the internet.
Sure, but I mean the fact that basically Goku was a borderline villain in some of the arcs of Dragon Ball Super, just because they're playing with he just wants to fight people. That's Team 4-Star started that. Team 4-Star came up with that idea for his character.
Well, that's the thing though. They didn't start it. You gotta keep in mind that the way Dragon Ball started and how Z became Z are completely different. And so you could say that as the years went on, Toriyama was basically like slowly forced to make Dragon Ball more serious. You gotta keep in mind that Shueisha, with editor mandates, he's gotta follow those to a certain point. Raise the stakes, make it more dangerous, make it more serious. It's not that silly anymore. So right now, you could argue that Toriyama is going back to more the humor of before Dragon Ball Z. before the Super Saiyans and the Kaioken's, there was Dragon Ball humor.
Yeah. Dragon Ball. Hang on. There was Dragon Ball humor. I agree.
The thing is that the character progression that Goku went through.
But hang on. At the very least, though, I could say that Goku was like. I agree. There's comedic bits, of course, with Dragon Ball. Don't get me wrong. But I could still say that Goku still was more of a serious character, where Dragon Ball Super, again, like, Goku literally starts the Tournament of Power and puts the risk of 7 universes where their existence will be wiped completely.
Well, here's the thing with that.
It's all his fault.
Here's the thing. They actually explained that. I'm pretty certain they explained it in the show, but I know it was explained. The Zeno were actually gonna wipe like the universes entirely already, but Goku bringing up the tournament gave them like a shot to like prove themselves. Like,
no, come on. In my opinion, I remember that plot point, but to me, that's kind of a cop-out to kind of try to justify it. But still, in execution, Goku basically, not the initial Tournament of Power, the one before like the big one. I'm talking about the big one that had all the other universes. Like, to them, they were just universes, and then they just got thrown into that situation, all because of Goku wanting to fight other people in other universes. Literally, like, to me, that I think it's funny. I thought it was, I still enjoyed it, but critically, I don't think Goku from Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z would have. I don't think that would have happened in that way. I think it would have just been like another tournament of power. It just happened to be, and they just got thrown into the situation. Whatever. Point is, I don't think Goku would have been the main cause of how that tournament came to be. That's the difference. Like, Goku's actions is actually affecting other universes now, where you make the argument that he caused it, and you could say that he was the villain because of it.
I feel like we're taking it way too far.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's get back on topic.
Yeah. Sorry.
So it's funny how like Pan just goes along with the plan. She's like, "Oh, I'm not scared," and he's just, "Hey, just pretend like you're scared." And then what's even more hilarious is that like, oh, they're gonna plan to kidnap Gohan, and then Piccolo's like volunteering himself. He's like, "Oh, I know where they are." He's like, "How do you know?" He's like, "Oh, I live next to them."
That's good. But to be fair, though, isn't it kind of a dick move by Piccolo being like, "Hey, I'm gonna get Gohan pissed and basically get his family involved in order to up him and get him back to training, basically put his daughter at risk."
I mean, if Pan wasn't capable either, like, he probably would have, because like also the thing was Pan's capable, like she wasn't scared at all, and she just went along with it.
I get that, but to me that kind of I thought it was funny, but it did kind of bother me a little bit, where it's like, I totally get what he's doing, but I'm like, that's kind of a dick move, Piccolo.
The only reason I could think of how to get to that point when you're thinking, I gotta get Gohan involved somehow, is maybe like Piccolo, maybe he thought that Gohan wouldn't get involved, period, because but we have Dad and Vegeta. They'll take care of it.
That's exactly it, hands down. No, that's exactly it.
But even then, it's like, you could, Piccolo, you could just tell Gohan that Cell is back. That'll immediately make him jump.
To be fair, they had no clue Cell was back the entire time.
That's the thing. We find out Cell Matt's like at the beginning of his little spy mission.
You're right.
So I wanna actually, so like, here's the thing with a lot of these anime movies, and Dragon Ball's the only franchise that has this. whenever these franchises like My Hero, One Piece, Dragon Ball get like a movie, obviously they go to Japan first and then they come here. Whenever not Dragon Ball, One Piece, My Hero, or any other show like or Sword Art, and they get these movies that come out of Japan and they come here, I never once hear spoilers. I never once know the plot of the movie and all that. Now, to be fair, I don't follow the communities of My Hero or Sword Art. I do follow the One Piece community, and the film Red's been out for a minute, and I have not once heard a peep of the story. But the literal minute superhero came out in Japan, everyone, like every single Dragon Ball content creator was instantly like, breaking news, Gohan gets a new form, breaking news, Cell's back, breaking news.
You want to know why? Because One Piece is big in Japan, but not over here.
Not over here, yeah. We
Like-
actually give a shit
Wait,
about
in Japan and in France. But besides that, nowhere else.
So I was unfortunately spoiled on Gohan and Piccolo getting new looks and Cell coming back. I knew that, but I didn't like dare look because a shit ton of YouTubers instantly wanted to put that in their thumbnails, and I'm just scrolling fast. So I knew Gohan was white, but that's it.
I just treated it like rumor.
Like,
Dang, that sounds like
yeah,
a
that's
huge problem. Because I would not get spoiled on.
Yeah.
well. Anyway, so I knew Cell was coming, but I was surprised at how early they dropped it. Like they're just like, oh, by the way, when's Cell Max done? I'm like, oh, already? Because my assumption, I thought they were going to be like, oh, and we're working on this top secret project. And I was assuming, okay, they beat the Gammas and they're going to be like, time to unleash the secret project. And oh, look, it's Cell. Shock. But no, like they just said in the beginning, oh, yeah, we're working on Cell, by the way. But we'll talk about Cell later. We'll talk about Cell later. So before we actually continue on the plot, we got to talk about the other plot. What are Goku and Vegeta up to?
Vegeta beats Goku. Done.
Oh, it's not true. We also find out that Beerus apparently has a type.
Hey, he is a man of culture.
Exactly.
Beerus,
Exactly.
Beerus likes chicks and loves ice cream. And literally, ice cream is why Goku, Vegeta, Beerus, Whis, Broly are mostly out of this movie.
Oh yeah, did we forget
Dragon Ball thing in the entire movie? Of course they wouldn't. Of course they would miss like the main plot because it's something that's stupid.
And Vegeta beating Goku, he beats Goku, and even Toriyama does Vegeta beating Goku dirty because we don't see the fight.
Hey, Phantom, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, no, I was just saying. And did we forget to mention that Broly's in the movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
But by one of the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Johnny Young Bosch.
Even though he doesn't have a lot of lines.
I feel like they're like a bunch of one-liners.
He's got more lines than Dick Lasagna, so.
Exactly.
I mean, like, it's cool to see Broly in the show now, and well, in the series now, and like curious to see like where he goes and all that, like when he learns to be under control.
Yeah.
So it's curious to see that. Like, I would have liked to at least seen him like do like a bit of fighting, but all you just see him is do like a power up, and it was like, whoa, calm down, like you can't be as angry as you were then.
But I will say I do like the I guess little arc that Vegeta has, and how he basically beats Goku, where Vegeta isn't so aggressive with his tactics. He's more relaxed and calm, and trying to combat it with a more mental approach.
Like they're trying to do what Jiren was doing in the tournament.
Yeah. Well, I also, it was mentioned earlier in Super that Vegeta is always so tense and aggressive all the time. Now he's starting to train his mind to calm himself, kind of be more like Goku in a way. So he's kind of adapting the strengths that he's always had, but also trying to adapt the strengths that Goku and Jiren had during, in their fighting styles. And that's what finally gives him the edge. And that I really liked how that came together at the end.
The bizarre thing is that it also showed that Goku is de-evolving because he implied that you're not gonna get stronger by just sitting down, and we had to go like,
Yeah,
well,
that was
not everything is about raw power, which is the exact same thing with Vegeta. You see
Yep.
the thing?
exactly.
So,
I agree with
that
that.
one
Yes.
bothered me.
hmm
That one did bother me.
Same
But
here.
at that point, so you're trying to reverse roles here. This is off.
Yep.
Um,
Felt the exact
And-
same way, Silver. Same way.
yeah, and then like they do this whole joke with Beerus liking Sheila, and I'm just like, ah, man, like it's funny, but at the same time, a giant chunk of the community ships her and Broly, and now it's a triangle between her, Broly, and Beerus.
Oh yeah.
It's really a triangle when. Okay, so Beerus likes Chilai.
Well, I mean, I'm joking around, like mostly, like it's not like implied or anything.
Well,
yeah, no, but no one likes Beerus, so it's like not really a triangle. It's more like,
yeah, he's just there.
yeah,
It's Broly, Sheila, and then Beerus is just there watching. And actually, thinking about that now, we may joke around about it, but potentially, I could see it being a plot threat down the line. Here's why.
in the
So-
next Dragon Ball show.
Well, maybe at some point, because let's not forget this plot line that has been set up and has not been paid off yet. Beerus was originally the guy that ordered Frieza to destroy the Saiyans.
So here's the thing about that. It's a tiny bit spoilery, but that does get answered in the manga.
Did that get retconned?
It didn't get retconned.
Remember,
well,
different
yeah.
timeline, so it doesn't matter.
So my theory could continue. So yeah, go ahead.
without going to, this is a tiny bit spoilery, but I'm not giving context.
Okay.
Beerus does tell Vegeta that he was the one who ordered the destruction of planet Vegeta. I'll leave it at that. Up to you if you want to, read.
In a different timeline.
Maybe I'll look into it, but again, different timeline, so the anime could do something completely different. And if they do, I can totally see this tying in where it's like, Beerus or Vegeta, Goku find that out, that turns into a thing, and then Broly gets tied into it as well, because Broly and Beerus and Sheila, that whole thing could tie into it as well. And I could kind of see those kind of plot threads kind of clashing together at some point, personally. Just thinking about it. I doubt it, but...
There's only one issue with that train of thought. It's Toriyama.
Yes.
Not gonna go with that.
So, we also get a sparring session with Goku and Vegeta, and this was one of the moments that the CG actually kind of took me out of it, because this is where it really looked choppy, and it looked obvious, that was the only blemish, I want to say, when it came to the CG in the movie, because there were some moments that could look better. But yeah, we got the sparring session with Goku and Vegeta, and then ice cream is just thrown all over the place, and which all of a sudden covers up Whis' staff, so he can't, see that he has a call.
Calling them.
And now,
Fan.
and now we're back to the main plot.
Yeah.
And I just find it hilarious that okay, we got Pan. Let's go get Gohan now. And then he goes to the door and he's like, hey, he won't answer the door. Come to the window here. And he's just like, how do you know so much about this?
No, I live here. I've done this before.
Just
so obviously, yeah.
the whole ransom thing with Gohan, and he's just like, he points a gun at him, he's like, "Come with us." It's like, "Oh, I'm good," and then he shows in the video Pan kidnapping that, gets Gohan pissed, and oh boy, it looks like Gohan's actually getting into it now.
And also Gohan doesn't recognize that Piccolo's with him.
Yeah, that's
energy for whatever reason.
Like
for a joke, but
Pan sense Piccolo, but Gohan couldn't.
But
that was
clearly for a joke, but doesn't make any logical sense. It was clearly a joke, but just no. Funny but falls flat. You really.
But now here's where the fun part kicks in. The actual battle. Can I just say, like, Gohan with the cloak and the glasses on looked really cool, and I like how he just like freaking like we're here, and then he just freaking jumps out of the ship, just explodes, and just freaking hero lands down. Like, that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then what proceeds is like one of the best fights. It's like in the movie, just Gohan actually being Gohan.
Yep.
But
he takes on Gamma 1, and Piccolo's fighting Gamma 2, if I remember correctly.
Silver, shut up.
Inside jokes. So Gohan fights Gamma 1, or Android Gamma 1, and Piccolo fights Gamma Android number 2. And that's when pretty much all the big fight happens. Everybody shows off their forms. Piccolo shows off his new form.
Orange Piccolo, y'all.
It's spicy pickle. Let's get that correct.
So actually, my theory so Orange Piccolo in my headcanon it's stupid. It's not Orange Piccolo. I want to call that Demon King Piccolo. Legitimately, when he wished his potential to be unlocked, he basically unlocked his inner demon power, especially when he reunited with Kami. So he's full Demon Piccolo now again, and basically Shenron just unlocked that hidden potential, the inner demon potential that he had. That's what that is, in my opinion. And I think it should be Demon King Piccolo form, not Orange Piccolo Toriyama. How dare I write your story better than you? But come on, that's something Team 4-Star would write.
Here's the thing, though. They really made Super Namekian canon.
I know, right?
They call it Super Namekian.
Yeah.
Like,
canon.
remember Lord Slug, the movie?
Yes.
Where they called him a Super Namekian?
Yes.
Well, that's what Piccolo became. He even became giant later.
I agree 100%.
I don't understand why they decided to call it Orange Piccolo. Like, okay, he's orange.
Treading on Super Saiyan.
There's like a really obvious name you could have used, and they didn't go for it.
No, but then we get to one of the other plots is that they try to get Gohan mad enough to stand a chance to the Gamma, and they're making it look like Pan's hurt, and then that's where you see some conflict between the Edo, the Gammas, and the Red Ribbon. They're like, we don't hurt children, and then Pan's later beating up some of the guards and fucking what's his name with the Josuke hair. Carmine,
the guard guy,
with the YouTube videos that get 5 views.
Yeah.
She starts shooting at her, and then they're like, okay, so I think I know who the real villains are. Literally sounds like a freaking Saturday morning cartoon special. We know who the real villains are today.
We forgot to mention as part of the plot. Jiro's grandson, Hito, I think his name was. He has aspirations of creating the best superhero ever, and that's basically what the Gammas are. He programmed them with superhero mindset. So that's why the Gammas were like, we don't hurt children and stuff like that. They're kind of inspired by like the Great Saiyan and all that kind of stuff.
You know, I'm very mad that like this movie's called Superhero. You see these robots that are supposed to be like superhero-esque, and they don't once put Great Saiyan in there. Like,
not even as a flashback. That's the weird thing.
Also, yeah, probably skipped over that plot point of like they basically tricked Hedo because Hedo is all about superheroes, and they're like, "Oh well, we want to be, you know, we're the good guys, Bulma," and she's trying to take over the world with her alien soldiers.
Yeah, he wanted to make the androids as superheroes, and the Red Ribbon Army provided the funding for him to create that. And in return, he would have to create what the Red Ribbon Army wants. So they were basically kind of double crossing each other, the typical plot line type of situation.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, now it turns out they're all buddies now. But wait, we gotta break out the secret, you know, bad guy of the movie.
Yeah.
This little goofy fight between Hedo and Magenta is like, you're not the only one who did adjustments to himself. Like freaking metal body.
Yep.
And then he just gets stung with like poison and freaking hits the button as he's dying.
Yep.
But now here comes but before Cell, like also the whole gang arrives on the scene. Like 18 Krillin. I like that line where she's like, "Hey, I brought all like the strongest people I could, and Krillin's here too."
Yeah.
Krillin gets the shaft.
I was expecting a Krillin own count to show up there at that point.
Yeah.
Like also finally Goten and Trunks. Goten and Trunks are finally older. Like, took them long enough to actually grow, and I'm very glad that like, you know, it's like Eric Vale as Trunks. He's one of my favorite actors in Dragon Ball, and I don't know, like someone new for Goten. I forgot who does him. But yeah, and then here comes Cell coming out, and Cell Max. But my biggest disappointment was that I knew Cell was coming back. I just am disappointed that he's not the exact same Cell from DBZ.
Exactly.
He's
like
Bio-Broly.
Everyone was saying Bio-Broly.
Literally Bio-Broly.
You know what I love? Toriyama basically took the design of Cell that people hated back in the day.
Toriyama was
the main monster.
Like it was stated, Toriyama's favorite form of Cell was the second form.
But the fans hated it, so he was forced to change it.
Yeah.
So, to me, it was brilliant to take the old design and rework it a little to incorporate it here, but just make it giant. And you know what? That design as a giant, it works.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that in a Devil Artemis video.
Basically, the way I took it was they basically combined Shin Godzilla with Bio-Broly. That was Cell Max at the end of the day.
It's just like because I was just like low key hoping that it doesn't have to be the exact same Cell from DBZ, but I at the very least wanted him to have like his memories of the original events, like recognize Gohan.
That wouldn't make any sense.
I'm one of those, honestly, that I kind of wish it wasn't Cell. I wish it was like a brand spanking new boss first.
They do that for the fan service.
I know, but I think they could have done something a little better than just Shin Godzilla Bio-Broly Cell.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
But the thing I do gotta commend is that technically it does make sense.
It does.
It does. And I kind of wish.
if you're gonna bring someone that specializes in androids, and they're gonna be working with the Red Ribbon Army, who originally funded all the androids, including Cell, it does make sense that they would go. So we have these research papers from the original Cell project.
Yeah.
Something with it. Like, to me, I'd rather have something that makes sense than something that at the last minute it pops out.
I agree with that. But my thing was,
I would have preferred something original. But
to be honest, like, I kind of wish that they, even if it's like a complete, Cell again, if they went full on, I kind of wish that Cell Max absorbed Gamma 1 and 2 and became like Cell Max. Like, it pretty much reused that plot line. I would have been okay with that as well. Because one of my biggest issues with the original Cell plot line from Dragon Ball Z is that, to me, it's weird that Cell transforms the way he does by absorbing 17 and 18, especially considering that they used to be human and everything. At least Gamma 1 and 2 kind of look like Perfect Cell in a way. So him morphing into Perfect Cell after absorbing those makes sense to me, personally. And I wish they if they were going to reuse anything, they reuse that plotline. Also, to be honest too, as much as I am happy that they did the time scale with Goten and Trunks, I kind of wish they were left out and they replaced them with Android 18 and 7. I wish 17 and 18 were involved at the end of it. I'm glad that 18 was involved at least, but I wish 17 was involved as well.
I wish 17 was there too, even if Goten and Trunks still were there. Were there still because the Tournament of Power ends, and it kind of confirms that 17's a member of the group now.
Yeah.
And no spoilers here, but he does get involved with a plot later in the manga. It's not important. He's just there to help out.
Different timeline.
But the fact that he's there,
he was left out at the end, because I think he'd be very interested if another Cells are running around.
But yeah, so the Cell comes out, and
it's Morbid time.
Silver, what were you saying? I could barely hear you.
I didn't say that. That was Phantom.
Oh, I don't know. Well, anyway, so the Cell comes out, destroys half the place. Oh no, it looks like everyone's gonna fall. Pan, you gotta fly. And then what do you know? She flies.
Miraculously.
And now everyone has to work together to beat Cell. Hey, Goten, let's fuse. And he's like, wait, how did we do that again? And then they fuse and they become the fat Gotens. And hey, if y'all wanted ass in the movie, you got it. Not from who you expected, though.
It's not what the sickos want, but they got their ass.
Yeah.
They got their moment.
They hit their moment right on the head.
Exactly. And yeah, they're like, okay, so he made a fail safe, so we gotta hit the head or whatever. And now it's just everyone's teaming up against Cell, which is very Bio Broly-esque. I just like that fat Goten gets pinballed around and he actually lands manages to make a hit on Cell.
Just to mention another Bio Broly connection, 18, Goten, and Trunks are involved. So,
so yeah, and then one of the best scenes in the movie, Gamma 2, essentially I'm gonna put everything into this one shot, and it looked so good.
Yeah.
And the music too.
Yep.
Gamma 2, rest in peace. He's a real Gamma 2, God, he was. I would have loved to have seen him in more content.
Oh yeah.
And I thought by the by the end that maybe they'd build him again since he's an android.
Or they
then
could
he
just
just ends
Dragon Balls.
Build him.
Then he just yeah. But anyway, Rip Gamma 2.
Comments for Gamma 2.
So Rip Gamma 2, and now like here comes Orange Piccolo, and this is the scene where like Krillin's like, get big. He's like, what? You know what you did against Goku? He's like, oh yeah, I forgot I did that.
Yeah, I can do that.
Oh yeah, Piccolo essentially is just embiggen.
Yes. And he also says, well, like this form, like he explains, like not really useful because it's a bluff. Like it doesn't make him any stronger or whatever.
Just make
so like
it's only a bluff.
So now, this is where like, oh, take a sensu bean because Gohan, you got to charge up one big attack to land on Cell, and I'm gonna hold him back. The way he said sensu bean too, he literally said like Gohan sensu bean. Like, so now here comes the big moment. Like Gohan has to charge up the attack, but like Piccolo's constantly getting pounded by Cell.
It's basically the final scene with Goku and Vegeta fighting Kid Buu, where basically Gohan is building up power, Piccolo's keeping Cell busy for Gohan to charge his attack.
And then everyone coming in to help and all that, but not making a dent. Gohan seeming a little scared to like charge up and stuff, and then what do you know? Like he pounds, like Cell knocks up Piccolo, and then like looks like Piccolo's dead.
It's
snap. In a similar shot to how it was in DBZ, with the line snapping, and Gohan once again like cutting loose as he did in Cell. And now this is where we get the meme that became real. Gohan Blanco, anyone?
That's one thing that I'm not sure how to feel about.
It's not Ultra Instinct. They gave it a name. It's called Gohan Beast.
No, that's not what bothers me. It's okay. So a little backstory. When they were doing the Tournament of Power, some people were comparing that to a fan manga that some people do online called Dragon Ball Multiverses, where multiple universes fight. In this case, Dragon Gohan snaps and turns into a white form.
Yeah.
With the Super Saiyan 2 hair just extra large.
Silver hair.
Red eyes. Which is very, very, very close to a fan creation from a CGI fan series called Dragon Ball Gohan Verse. And so I don't know how to feel about it because it feels too close.
Well, the thing is, you gotta remember, Toriyama doesn't spend time on the internet. He probably doesn't even know the internet exists.
Okay,
so
okay.
It's hard to believe.
That part we know. But you gotta consider, like, there are other people working on these films.
I kind of want to push back on that. I think he does acknowledge that the internet exists because, for the case that originally he wanted Piccolo to be in Vegeta's shoes, and he couldn't do that because of how popular Vegeta is. So, to my understanding, Toriyama's hated Vegeta up until this point because of that fact. To my knowledge, anyway. So,
well, I mean, I'm not saying that he doesn't know the internet exists. It was like a joke. It's just that Toriyama's so shut in and rarely ever steps out.
Yeah, no, I wasn't saying that as like not acknowledging. I totally get your joke, but I think there's some he is aware of like the fandom and everything, and some of the things that the fans have developed, like Team 4-Star and like multiverse and all that kind of stuff. Because I agree with Silver. It's
a little. I don't know if it's for
Super Saiyan 5.
No?
Personally, it reminds me of Super Saiyan 5. The fan
Dragon Ball AF.
Yeah, it reminds me of that a little bit.
Okay, but the thing is, when I compare Dragon Ball, like when I compare the fan creation with what we saw in the movie, the only actual difference I see is that in the official one, Gohan is an adult and the hair is larger.
Yeah.
Beyond that, it's really, really close.
Yeah.
A little too close. And if it's not Toriyama, it's gotta be like someone actually within Toei working during the whole process. Because it, like, with the comparison between Multiverse and the Tournament of Power, okay, if it's possible that they took the idea, at least it ended up being something different. But in this case, Gohan Beast, yes, that's the official name, looks, to me, it looks too close to a fan creation that has existed for, I think, 2 years. But it is too close.
Well, it's either Toriyama was sitting there being like, what do I call it? How do I develop this form? I just don't know. One of his servants comes in. Here, sir, I got something for you. Okay.
So anyway, go on.
He's probably like, the fan can't sue me.
I mean, that's technically true, but it's.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. 100%.
Like it's like imagine if he actually made Super Saiyan 5 and it looks really fucking close to the fan art.
And he's just like, yeah, I totally made Super Saiyan 5. I made that like 3 years ago, not a year before you fans did, and I'm the guy, so yeah. You guys take that idea.
It's done by a YouTuber called Don Machi, and yeah, like I even after I saw the movie, I actually like went to his YouTube to like pull up
to confirm it.
Some of that to like compare it. It just feels too close.
So anyway, moving on. Gohan becomes this white form. My theater exploded with joy when that came on. Like I don't know if y'all had like packed theaters when you went, and
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Just whenever it comes to like these kinds of movies, like anime movies and stuff, maybe to an extent some Marvel movies, I'm usually not a fan of like when people want to get loud in a theater, except when like the energy is the same. You know what I mean? Like when there's like a really high moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like one example I'll bring up, and spoiler alert, but the movie's been out for a minute. Spider-Man No Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
When like Toby and Andrew came on screen, like everyone screamed with joy. Like that kind of stuff I enjoy. Like I'll because I'm with them.
It's
on
moments
that.
like that is why you go to the theater.
Yeah.
The movies.
So like, yeah, everyone exploded when like Gohan turned white.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then okay, he needs to bring him to the attack, and a Kamehameha would do the trick. But no, he does the special beam cannon, which also made my theater explode.
Yeah,
because he's doing the attack that his adopted father is doing.
Like father, it was beautiful. I actually love that.
Same.
Like, yeah, he does a special beam cannon, and like, hey, I'm not gonna fight it. And like, how it looks, turns out Piccolo's alive. So like, get one shot in, and then Gohan eventually gets the shot in. And like,
Also, granted, I know we shat on the CGI for the most part in this movie,
That looks beautiful.
but the special beam cannon with that style, fire.
like yeah, like that whole scene just looked amazing. Like, and then
Granted.
Cell, yeah, so Cell gets defeated. Like, everyone's good. Rip Gamma 2. Oh, like, Pan wants to see her dad. And then she's, like, confused at first with, like, Orange Piccolo and Beast Gohan. And then they, like, power down. And they look at that wholesome moment with father and daughter. And then here comes Piccolo saying, this is why you need to train. And he's like, hey, you know what? You're right. I should get back into it. I can't wait for the next season or movie. And he's like back in the room, doing more research.
I will say,
Also-
he knows how to dodge.
Also,
He's dodge training.
also, canon in this timeline, Piccolo loves plushies, and Vegeta beats Goku.
But only
one was
fine.
maybe one. Oh, you got just seeing Piccolo handle a smartphone. That was so good. Like FaceTiming. God, that's so good. Like, and I just love that, like, they're putting in like a lot of these modern day type elements. like
Literally how it's going.
Yeah. Piccolo using a smartphone. One of the Red Ribbon guys having a YouTube channel where he uploads footage of like them fighting, and they get like 5-10 views.
Yo,
It's so good.
I wish it was. I said it to my friend while we were watching. How great would it have been if it was like the footage from the World Martial Arts Tournament that Team 4-Star dubbed in the show, where with Hercule and the weird heads and all that.
The
fighting.
bobbleheads.
Yeah, I would have loved it if they were playing that footage. Oh, that would have been so great.
Yeah, unfortunately, Toei will like
I
snipe,
know.
like kill anyone.
I know.
Like if they use that footage.
I know. But still, that would have been so great though. But yeah, still great.
Yeah, so Pan's reunited with the family. Hedo has a job at Capsule Corp now, like doing cosmetic surgery. Like, at least Bulma won't make another Wish of the Dragon, hopefully.
Bulma found the
In
eternally
theory.
fountain of youth.
and then the movie kind of ends with like a shot of Pan flying and her point of view, and then it just cuts to the sky, and here come the credits. I just like in the credits, they had like these little sketches of like a mini epilogue,
Yeah.
and one of them was Videl coming back home to it wrecked, and then she's all pissed. But wait, after credits scene, how did Goku and Vegeta do in the fight?
Vegeta won.
Vegeta won.
They're literally my theater screamed when that happened too. Like just like that moment where like he nudges his fist against Goku and he falls down and everyone's just screaming. And it's just like oh, and no one's even paying attention. It's like oh, it looks like Vegeta's the winner.
I'm still upset we missed the fight, but I am happy how it ended. I'm happy Vegeta got his due finally, sort of.
He's like, I beat Kakarot. And then Sheila is like, wow, this is why. And then Sheila is like, wow, like that was kind of boring. This is what y'all get worked up about. And you could see
Crying.
Broly and Lemo just like sobbing.
So beautiful. Beautiful fight.
And then here comes Whis picking up the phone. Oh, hey, it was 30 missed calls. It's like, oh, hey, Bulma, did you need me? He's like, yeah, we did, like a couple hours ago. It's all handled now. And it was like, oh, nothing much happened. And it's like, oh, that's strange. And then the movie ends.
Yep.
And that's the movie.
So, final verdict, everybody. What'd you guys think?
I really enjoyed it. I was iffy on the whole CG thing, but I enjoyed it. I don't want to say it was as good as Broly, but it was great. And apparently, even Akira Toriyama thinks so too. As like he really enjoyed it, like because they put out like the official translations of his thoughts, and he was like amazed. But I really enjoyed it, and finally, like Gohan and Piccolo get their dues. Like it ain't another Goku Vegeta story, because that's what a lot of people were getting annoyed at. Is like too much Goku, too much Vegeta, and all that. And now like Gohan gets a spotlight in it. Just curious to see where we go from here, but I enjoyed it. What about you all?
Oh, I guess I'll go. So I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. But I kind of discussed it with my friends who I saw it with, and I said leaving the theater that I think it might have been the worst of the Super movies up until this point, even with how much I enjoyed it. Thinking about it now, though, I liked Battle of Gods. I kind of liked Resurrection F, but there was a lot of stuff I had issues with Resurrection F. It's not better than Broly, that's for sure, though. Pretty much I have to say, like, it's like toe-to-toe with Resurrection F as, like, the bottom tier, but I still enjoyed it, though. I'm not saying it as, like, it's bad. I'm not saying that. For the most part, I liked it. I just have some gripes with it, as I mentioned through our discussion. But is it better than Resurrection F? Thinking about it now and after our discussion, I honestly think that it might take I think Resurrection F might be the worst of the Super movies, now that I really, really think about it, discussing it at the end of the day. Like I said, I have some gripes with it, but I still enjoyed it, but it's not better than Battle of Gods or Broly, in my opinion. That's where I'm at. I kind of give it like a 7 overall.
What about you, Silver? What do you think about it?
You know what? In how Eric ranked it, I can agree to it. Just want to mention that part first, because Dragon Ball. I had fun with Dragon Ball Superhero. God, that is a dumb name. I had fun with it.
Yes.
Fun fact. It's the title is Dragon Ball Superhero because Toriyama forgot that the series is called Dragon Ball Super, and someone at PR just rolled with it.
This fucking guy. Anyway, Silver, you were saying.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this movie. I can't say. Here's the thing. There's, in some aspects, I prefer it over Broly. But Broly is still the better movie. By a landslide. It's just that there's a few certain things that I do prefer in Superhero compared to the last one. Because Dragon Ball Super Broly, let's be real here, it's a giant brawl. It's a fighting movie. Like all Dragon Ball movies. Yeah. But in Superhero, I felt like there was a bit more plot. There was a bit more story. Or at least it felt like okay, when Dragon Ball.
I'm not judging you, just for the record.
When Dragon Ball Super Broly, there's plot, And okay, pause the story. It's time for the cool fights. I didn't feel that with Dragon Ball Superhero. It didn't feel like we hit a pause button on the story for like over half an hour. And that's something that I do prefer. Like, don't get me wrong, the fight scenes in Dragon Ball Super Broly are fucking phenomenal. And I 1000% prefer the 2D animation.
Yeah, of course.
But in terms of like
the connection of the plot, it feels kind of detached from the fights in Super Broly, where the fights here felt a little more weight because of the plot lines kind of tying into it a little bit better in this movie.
Exactly.
Interpretation of it.
Exactly.
I would actually agree with you on that.
That's the one aspect that
That's a fair point.
It did better than Super Broly. I'm not gonna say it's better than Super Broly. I think the best way to describe it is if you love Dragon Ball Z fights, Dragon Ball Super Broly, that's the best movie for you. If you want a little more, if you want the plot to actually connect a little more, and you want to see the other characters that have been almost forgotten for God knows how long, Superhero is the movie for you. And yeah, to me, like, there's a lot of scenes in Superhero where this CGI works. There are scenes that look phenomenal, and then there's the scenes that don't look that good. And so, to me, it's that one part of the movie that I don't know where to scale it, because it's better than Resurrection F, definitely. I don't know if it's better than Battle of Gods, but to me, it's the CGI. Like, again, there's scenes where, example, the special beam cannon scene, with Gohan, that look phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain scenes like that where you go, you know what? This works in CG. There's a few certain scenes that when you go, yeah, this works. And then there's some scenes where you go, okay.
The seesaw.
I felt that with the Goku Vegeta fight.
It's a big seesaw. That's what gets me. It's a big seesaw.
Like to me, the beginning scene, like not the two, like the first few minutes. At first, I was going, okay, you know what? Okay, this works so far. Okay, and then they get in the car and they're driving down, and it feels like they're dry, and it feels like the grass is just like a huge PNG file. the roads, same thing, another huge PNG file, and just like, this, I'm starting to have doubts. And
Uncanny Valley. Must resist.
Can you go back to the characters? Okay, there we go.
Alright.
There's just those certain parts that made me go, I don't know. So I want to say, I guess I'm gonna have to give it a 7, because I love the movie. It's just that it's the technical aspects that made me go, I don't know.
It's inconsistent. That's why I say it's 7, because it's not a bad movie. Again, it's good, it's solid, it's right there, but it doesn't really moved the needle better, other than Resurrection F, because Resurrection F was fine.
Yeah. I would say that to me, it is better than Battle of Gods in the sense that
In some aspects, yeah.
Battle of Gods, it's not a Dragon Ball Z movie, it's more of a Dragon Ball movie. Like,
Yeah.
let's be real. The parts that people like about Battle of Gods when they're fighting, number one, that the fight is like a minority of the film. Number two, the parts that people like are the parts that were made in 2D.
Yeah.
So there was quite a bit of CG in Battle of Gods, if you remember. So I would say like Dragon Ball Super Broly. Then it's a tie between Battle of Gods and Superhero. And then at the bottom you have Resurrection F, which was fun, but Resurrection F was really like a really long episode of Dragon Ball Z. Like a really long episode.
I think we'll know Frieza's next wish. I wish that my movie will be the best of all the Dragon Ball Super movies.
And then Shenron goes, "That is beyond my power."
Well, anyway,
Are you kidding me? The first one is Broly. I can't beat that.
Fine, make me 3 centimeters taller. Anyway,
Tell you what, I'll give you 5.
Sam, you're up.
I was just gonna say, what about Logan and Phantom? What did y'all think of the movie?
They're asleep.
Movie good.
Phantom-
Would watch again. 7 out of 10. Please make Panic Krillin buddy cop spinoff. I'd watch it.
Yes,
Oh, I'm on board
yes.
with that now.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
What about you, Phantom?
I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Ooh.
Just because I watched it in IMAX. The sound and quality does look
That's where the
just as
0.5
good.
came from.
What was it, Silver?
Fair enough.
I do want to say though. Now here's the real question: who's cuter, Anya or Pan? I don't know
Yes.
if.
Yes.
I don't know if Eric or Phantom has seen Spy Family.
What is it?
Spy Family, like it came out like a couple months ago. Like Anya's like a character in there, like little girl, like
Okay.
one of the most,
I've
one
seen
of the
it
most,
already.
yeah.
I've seen it already.
The thing is, Pan doesn't have the hair face.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's the only advantage that Anya
you know,
has.
someone will make fan art of it. I guarantee you.
But I am at least a little familiar with Anya.
Well,
I
anyway,
in the show, so I would give it to Pan.
all right. Anyway,
GT, so there's also that.
so I think
Sorry, DBZ
I-
fans.
I
Sorry,
think
Justin.
I think this about wraps it up. Now we're like almost 3 hours. Like Jesus Christ. But
Eric
So,
will be
like-
editing that out.
it's more like I'll be editing this out. And it takes me very long to get the podcast looking the way they do. Yeah, like we all enjoyed Superhero. We had some criticisms. I just hope for the love of God we get some new Dragon Ball content because now the manga is on a hiatus. So now we really got nothing for a while.
I'm lying.
Like, but yeah, and on to the on the other topics, I'm just hoping Toonami is looking in a better place. I look from like a month from now, maybe 2. I don't know. But anyway, I guess this is the part where we plug our stuff now. You can follow me on Twitter at Samster299, YouTube at Samster299. I haven't uploaded much since the last podcast. I only did like a fan-made bump set of To Your Eternity because Steven made me see that show and it was really good, so I thought, why not? I will probably do like another fake Toonami bump set show. I don't really have any ideas in my head right now, but yeah, YouTube at Samster299, Twitter at Samster299. You can also follow Toonami Squad socials, Toonami Squad on Twitter, Toonami Squad Instagram, Facebook, expired merch at redbull.com, and the website, of course, too. What about the rest of y'all?
I'm Eric Casey, also known as eRockstar5 on Twitter. You can follow me on there, and also follow us on Toonami Squad, just like what Sam said and everything. Also, share your comments and feedback and opinions of Dragon Ball Super and any of the other topics that we had today in the comment section below. We would love to, talk, debate the whole King of Boodle, and yeah. And I hope to see you guys again on the next episode. Next.
Who else?
Okay. I'm Silver, and I'm too lazy to look up my Twitter handle, so let's just pretend I don't have any.
I mean, your Twitter handle will be in this video anyway, because that's how I format these.
It's also
Okay, cool. I don't have to.
It's also literally right below you too.
Oh, cool. I don't have to do anything. Great. I'm not working at anything at the moment.
Except for your crown collection, though.
That? Okay, maybe that, but... Well, no, but I gotta do the crown one. I just realized that. Yeah. Tell us how wrong we are about everything we talked about today, and let's see if I come back on in maybe a year.
We'll have a Mountain Dew on the ready.
Then I'll come back.
Yes. Well, I'll bring out Coquito.
I'll be back immediately.
Highly motivated by Coquito.
And now, who are the other two people?
Yeah, go ahead, Logan. I'll go last.
I'm found at Schmollus1 on Twitter. Otherwise, I'm usually working on most of your favorite discotheque releases, hopefully. So,
Like Hamtaro.
I don't think we have that one.
Not yet.
Silver wants it, but I don't think we have it.
Not yet.
Silver will pour all the money to discotheque for that.
Damn. The fact that he didn't say NDA means that they really don't have it.
Alright. You can follow me at Fanstar64 as well as TS Gaming Zone. Yeah, TS Gaming Zone and the Gaming Zone on YouTube. Twitch.tv/Squad Gaming Zone. And don't forget to check out our streaming platforms if you don't want to see our lovely faces. We're on the Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Leave a review while you're at it.
Alright. Well, I think
And
about...
tell us why we can't have JJK on Toonami.
You can shut up now.
Got it again.
Give us entire papers explaining in detail why Jujutsu Kaisen can never be on Toonami.
You know, I knew I was running the risk of having Silver on here with the millions of JJK jokes. Anyway,
I have an idea what the comment section is going to look like when this goes up.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Dragon Ball Superhero, Toonami surviving, all those comments. No one cares about that. Jujutsu Kaisen's never coming to Toonami.
No, he's just gonna disable comments.
Yeah.
I don't run the YouTube channel,
no,
unfortunately.
that
I usually make the videos and send them to Phantom.
Don't pull that card. Come on.
Although I will, if that's the case, then I might just have to disable comments.
No, no, you guys are no fun. Anyway.
Only if it does get out of hand like that, though.
I doubt it will. Anyway, so this has been another episode of Toonami Squad Sessions Podcast. It's literally been 3 hours. I gotta work in the morning. So, y'all have a good night. Take care.
Bye.
Yep. Night.
10, 9, 8.